Hello and welcome to Tales from the Backlog. My name is Steve Boshier and I am old timey. If you don't know
Old
the
timey.
channel, this is Shadow. Hey, Jason. This is Shadows of Arconia, where we play games. On Friday nights, we have ongoing stories. We are currently in Worlds Without Number for Shadows of Arconia Campaign 2. And then on Monday nights, we do this show called Tales from the Backlog, where we play all kinds of other games, including this one, which is free on the internet. I like to put little plugs for the games at the bottom, and this one has the word free in it, which none of them ever have before. So I'm getting compliments on the layout in the chat. Thank you guys. I really like this one. Obviously, as most of them are, inspired by the book itself. So, in fact, most of these art pieces are from the book. I pulled the ones that were labeled public domain. So there you go. And that, of course, is the cover of the book. But Mia, why don't you tell us about this game we're about to play?
Well, I will butcher the title. Escuela,
Escuela.
Viet. Thank you. Which, of course, translate to old school. So, old school pulp, written by J. Ramon Balcells and published by Grappus and Mappus. It is an old school hack of the D20 system. Uh, Pulp Fiction being, based on the format of books that were published back then, or magazines on crappy paper, pulpy paper. A lot of well-known authors got started back then. Like guys like Edgar Rice Burroughs and H.P. Lovecraft and Robert E. Howard were all Pulp Fiction writers. Um, the pulps lasted up until about the 50s when they kind of faded out of circulation in favor of better quality printing and things. Yeah, there we go. As far as like Pulp Fiction or Pulp Gaming, um, again, blending any of that sort of thing. It could be a Tarzan type adventure or a Mars adventure like Edgar Rice Burroughs and so on. Indiana Jones being maybe the most well-known modern iteration of the pulps. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Crime noir, a whole bunch of things are encapsulated. So there you go. Thanks, Steve.
Absolutely. Thank you. This is a cool game. And the Vieja Escuela Pulp, which, by the way, I also butchered on Friday. I said it twice, and I got it right the first time. Um, uh, is one of a series of games because there was Vieja Escuela, right? And in the front
Yeah,
cover,
yeah,
it lists all the other genres that you can play this game in. I'm very
yeah. They
interested
got
in
a
the cyberpunk one.
yeah. I was gonna say, sorry, Steve, step on you there, but yeah, there's their cyberpunk and their fantasy game. I'm like, well, yeah, you have to look those up.
Yeah. All right.
So,
Well, should we do our intros?
sure. Do I go first? I always forget.
The
Let players go first.
players go first.
Okay.
Well, I guess it's up to you, unless there's a reason you'd like to go first.
Oh
You're
no,
taking.
no, you go ahead. I'm not wound up, nervous, or anxiety prone or anything. So
Never.
take the heat off of me, please.
Okay, well, I'm playing Apollo Johnson. My class in this game is what is it? Tough guy? Is that what it is?
Yes.
A tough guy slash gal. Yeah, tough guy. I was for some reason I thought it was a different word, but that's me. I am a circus strongman, currently on leave from the circus, doing some other types of work. I'm an adventurer as well. I do bodyguard work sometimes, but I'm fully like one of those guys that like bends iron bars for applause. I have little shorts on and a big old mustache, and like not like an 80s action hero with zero body fat, but like one of those guys with just a lot of muscle and they don't care necessarily what their body fat is. Like that's Apollo Johnson. uh Eat 16 eggs every day, more if I can get them, and I can lift up a board with a lion on it.
Mm-hmm. My goodness.
I have a question. Do you wear the shorts even when you're doing bodyguard duty?
No, the shorts are when I am performing. They're called trunks. Fun fact: if you don't know anything about old timey strongmen, superheroes who wear trunks over their pants, that was inspired by circus strongmen. So I am one of the inspiration for Superman.
Yes.
Superman. Supermen? Super people.
That's exciting.
Thanks.
Pet people.
All right, your turn.
All right. I'm Sarah. I am playing Cora Montesquieu, international woman of mystery. I am the scoundrel and a individual who, I just live this lovely, wonderful life, and I walk into rooms with wonderful people, provide scintillating conversation, and sometimes when I walk out, certain things are missing. I don't know how it keeps happening to me. It's wild. It doesn't always happen to me. There's many other people that look like me that this happens to on a regular basis. It's shocking, I tell you. But not me, not poor little Cora Montesquieu from Manitoba, Canada. And that's Cora.
You have a specific skill set.
I do. Being charming.
Sarah's filling out that frame a lot better than me.
I am.
Yeah.
Indeed. Let me tip mine a little bit as well, see if I can help there.
Usually
I
have
need
my
to
knees
lean
up
in.
here.
Let's let this sit like right here.
And on that note, I also have a rather particular skill set. I am playing Miss Amelia Bennett. I, up until recently, was a librarian at Cambridge, but due to circumstances that were rather exciting, I found myself whisked away and joining you all on the continent here of the New World. I am the investigator of the group, and well, I suppose other than the fact that I've become somewhat of an amateur adventurer in the last few months, studying up, learning how to shoot firearms and whatnot, beyond that, I'm just well learned and excited to be out in the world.
Scandalous. Shooting firearms.
Yeah.
And jolly good well, too.
And we circle back to Mia. I will be your purveyor of pulp, your not so fleek geek, and your GM for this evening. Quick bit of background. We are all basically part of the same organization, the Ivory Keys, who are will fight crime but aren't afraid to break the law to accomplish the goals that they would like to, stamping out evil and such. But tonight is September 17th, 1935. You are in New York City. The night air is crisp and carries the distant sounds of the city's heartbeat. You are sitting in a small cafe named Moonlight Brews. Street lamp light filters through the window, and the warm glow of the few filament bulbs illuminate the interior space. Flickering candles on each of the wooden tables cast dancing shadows on the wall. Hushed voices mingle with the gentle strumming of a guitar from a live musician sitting next to a whispering fountain, and the aroma of freshly brewed coffee envelops the space in a comforting embrace. Sitting with you is your sidekick, Lottie, who traveled over from England with Amelia.
She's a darling.
It's been ages since I had a good cup of tea. How are your drinks?
I must say, I was just thinking the same as you. Coffee, it's just not quite the same here, is it?
I simply don't know what you two are talking about. I think there's no coffee on earth like New York coffee.
That's quite possible. I just prefer tea.
Well, I'm a little disappointed they didn't have unpasteurized milk, but the milk they had, they definitely had a lot of it, so that's good for me.
Indeed. The thing that I do love about New York City is that nobody judges you for drinking coffee in the evening.
Indeed. In
Yeah,
fact,
just...
no one judges you for drinking much of anything in the evening, I've found here.
Anything available at any time. It's amazing.
Yes, but certainly to get 8 hours of sleep is important for one's vitality.
Quite.
Could not
You
agree
are
more.
you are quite the vital one, Apollo. Whew. She's got her fan out. You are quite the hunk of a man.
I'm sorry, what?
Lottie.
Hunk of what?
I think Lottie's had a
Nothing,
little too
nothing.
much
I'm so
tea.
sorry. Kind of laughs and leans towards Amelia a little bit.
Amelia, you must keep an eye on this one.
Apologies, we were very long aboard the ship together, and there was a good time for frivolous conversation that perhaps got a bit spicy from time to time. It's been a while since we've been with mixed company. Apologies,
Yes,
Apollo.
I think Apollo didn't understand what she meant by hunk, but when you say spicy, he's gonna get up and excuse himself.
Speaking of which,
He'll-
you must tell me
He'll
how
walk
things
away
go
and
on
pretend
top.
to be doing
Oh, sorry.
something.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there. Speaking of which, you must tell me how the continent, your time on the continent. I'm so jealous. I have not gotten a chance to go over there. I was planning to head over to California myself in a few more weeks when the weather gets really unpleasant.
I must admit, my time here in New York has been eye-opening. Most of my time was in the Cambridge area up until now, and that weather-wise was grayer than here. There's a lot more sun, but I hear California is more so, and that would be quite something.
Absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. I hear that there is, I've made arrangements. There's a little place there just opening up, I hear, called Palm Springs. I love it. It sounds like I'm going to some sort of desert oasis with
That
camels.
does sound
and-
lovely. Very exotic.
I can't
What?
wait.
While you're speaking, something eclipses the street lamps outside the window briefly. Apollo, where have you moved to inside the cafe? I would say you guys are probably sitting in a back corner somewhere.
Yeah, I think I probably went up to like a count. I don't know what cafes looked like in 1935, but in 2023 there's like a counter, and so like I'm gonna go up there and fuss with whatever people put in their coffee, even though I'm just drinking milk, and just fiddle and like give the ladies time to finish their inappropriate conversation. But yeah, so I'm in the room, but I'm just sort of on the other side of it.
Okay.
All right. So you would have seen the little
Yeah,
blip.
maybe. Would I have?
I would say maybe your back's turned, but Cora and Amelia probably saw again this large shadow pass outside the window of the cafe. But blam! Suddenly the door is thrown open, and in steps two men. One, a massive slab of meat wrapped in black and gray pinstripes, and the other, a smaller man in front in matching attire. Their faces masked in shadow by their fedoras, other than a faint glow of blue light emitting around the rim of their goggles.
I nudged
Quite
Lottie.
well.
You were looking for hunks of meat, my goodness.
I, under the table, reach for my bag and my gun.
I
Just gonna be ready.
I reach for whatever's on the counter here that's good and heavy. Maybe a carafe or something like that.
Yeah.
Are they
sure.
looking around? Are they looking at us?
As you watch them, the smaller man pulls a snub-nosed revolver from his pocket in his right hand. He shifts his weight, revealing that the mountain of a man behind him is holding a machine gun in his pumpkin-sized fists. Move, and we'll fill you full of lead, he says.
Clarification:
But
are we the only people in here?
Yes,
It's
good
a it's a
question.
crowded establishment. There's probably like 20
And
other
does it seem
people
like
in
he's
there.
addressing any of us directly, or is he addressing the whole room?
He kind of, as he says that, he sweeps his snub-nosed revolver across the room.
Okay.
Move and we'll fill you full of lead, he says.
One more quick question. Where are we sitting? Because Apollo is deeper in the room by the counter. where are Amelia, Lottie, and I sitting? Are we by the door, or are we by?
I would say it's
You
kind of a
mentioned the back
squarish
area?
room. They just came in through the door up in this corner, and there's the counter. So like Apollo's like just a few feet from these guys, and you guys are maybe a little further and around the corner of the counter, but can see them clearly.
Okay.
You notice that the small man is holding a device in his left hand, a short metallic rod with a glass orb on the end. He thumbs a button, and crackling blue energy erupts in the sphere. The light bulbs overhead flare briefly and go out. Even the street lamps fall dark. Give us your money and precious belongings.
I lower my voice and to Amelia, say a bit too much collateral damage in here.
I
Potential
spent all my
collateral
money on
damage.
ropes and dynamite.
I will. I think I'm going to gesture if, as I say, a little too much potential collateral damage in here, and I'm going to slide my gun down between the seat cushions. So it's still to hand. My gun, as they are making the rounds, I'm going to quickly remove certain key items from my bag and my coat pockets and slide them into the seat cushions, assuming that they are not doing a detailed search of each individual, and just get out my money and take off my necklace.
Most of the crowd are complying. They're like pulling their necklaces off, pulling their pocketbooks, and stacking them on the table. As the smaller man comes around, he has placed that device back in his pocket, is clenching the revolver in his other hand, and he is holding a bag for the people to place their items in as he moves around the room. The large man looks to you, Apollo, and kind of squints and grunts at you and levels his machine gun in your direction.
I'm offering no challenge. I grabbed that carafe just out of reflex when they slammed the door open, but I'm not gonna rush a guy with a machine gun.
And say, make their way around the room. They get to your table, Amelia and Cora.
As I am complying with the dollar that I have in my pocket, I'm going to say, my goodness, gentlemen, I must say I've never seen a device like that take out so much electricity all at once. Do you mind me asking, what on earth was that?
You're full of questions, aren't you? You don't sound like you're from around these parts.
No, I'm afraid not. I'm a recent visitor to your shores, but I'm somewhat of a scholar, and that's fascinating. And if it helps, I have social chameleon, which gives me advantage with first contact and communication.
Ah, that's my boss's device. He gave me that. No telling where it came from. You put your stuff in the bag. Quick. Be quick about it.
Here you are.
Same. I will be, yes. I will hold any communication until is there a role in here to try to get a read on these guys or anything? Because they seem like just straight up gangsters who've gotten their hands on something very powerful. Is there anything that indicates that they are something more than that?
Like a lore check or maybe communications, since that's influence, motivate, get along with others, etc.
I'll take a communication check, yeah. And
could I also to see if I can recognize anything that would either help me notice what gang they're from so we can track them later, or things that are distinctive so I could see maybe what area of town they might be from?
Yeah, do an alertness check to get a good read on their physicality and their clothing. And yeah, again, maybe even a lore check to access any information you may have read in the Ivory Key Library.
Okay, I'll do the communication check.
I rolled alertness and got a 9, so I'd like to roll lore for my library because I have been here for a little bit, and that is something I would like to read about. Oh, that was a nat 1. I have no idea. My brain wiped upon seeing the gun.
Just remind me, it's a D20 to roll, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I also rolled a nat 1 on communication.
Gracious.
I'm afraid these gentlemen are terribly frightening, and I'm just beside myself. I've gone southern. Oh dear.
So they,
Yeah.
say they moved into the room. Does that mean their backs are to me now?
The larger man is still standing near the door. He's
Okay.
shuffled over a little bit, but he's still, and he's taken his machine gun off. He just briefly, but he's still got his eyes on you, Apollo.
Okay. I'd like to scan the room to see if there's anyone other than myself who might be prone to take action.
Yep. Roll an alertness for a quick check. Lottie is like she's sunk way down in her chair and has basically handed over everything that she owns.
I've rolled a 6.
We're on fire.
You don't see anybody that catches your eye that looks like they would be a troublemaker.
Okay.
But once the little man has made his way around and gotten all his goods, he steps over to the guitar player and is like, hand it over. The guitar player like clutches the guitar. He's like, no, I won't. It was from my father.
And I will say through my head, not the guitar! Have mercy! And I want to try to roll communication. Try to get the crowd on my side. You guys cleared it out. They don't need a guitar.
And if the scuffle has distracted the large man, I'd like to roll stealth to sneak up and get my hands on that gun.
Yeah, he shifts his position, Apollo, and is drawn towards the commotion. So as he turns his eyes off you. And Cora, what did you roll for your?
I rolled a 17 plus 1
Your
for an
influence.
18.
Hey.
Wrestling with the guitar for a moment, then is like, who said that? Fine. We certainly don't need a guitar. Let's get out of here.
I have
Thank
rolled
you,
a 17
ladies
on my
and
stealth.
gentlemen. All right, so you have
Ah.
snuck up right behind this big guy.
Now, I bend iron bars for a living, so I'm going for that gun barrel.
Okay.
What do I do? Attack?
Give me, just do a strength check, an attack roll to grab it, and then a strength check if you're going to try and bend the barrel or something.
Maybe it's more time efficient to just yank it out of his hands.
Okay. So yeah, roll your attack. And,
The attack is 17.
Okay. So that's a pretty substantial attack. So roll your strength check with advantage,
Copy that.
since you kind of got the drop on him.
Huh. Well, that came out a 1 and a 2.
You were wrestling with him over the gun. Yeah.
This is what happens when I build bruisers. The dice don't agree.
Well, as soon as Apollo takes action, so will Cora. And I'm going to go for that little guy. I want to, forget, I got to move fast here. So no attempt at stealth. I'm just going to charge, jump onto, if I have to get up onto the tables and run and just flying tackle.
Nice.
The little guy or the big
And
guy?
I've got the little guy.
Okay.
You've got the
Okay,
big
so-
guy.
Yeah.
I'll take the little guy.
So yeah, I guess that would be a dexterity check
Mhm.
with a maneuver, and then that +1 attack to dive on him.
Okay. Sorry. And so dexterity is, again, just straight D20 plus my modifier.
Plus your mod, yes.
All right. All right, so I rolled a 10 for dexterity. I have no plus to my dex. Is that good enough?
What were you were gonna just step on a cushion table and then jump at him?
Yeah, exactly. Just up a chair onto the table and just flying tackle him.
Okay, I would say that you successfully leap towards him. So yeah, roll your attack.
All right. And I actually do have my little pen knife. It is quite a bit sharper than an average pen knife. So I'm going to go at him with my knife and scream, "Those were my mother's pearls!" And I got a 10 again. I don't think, what is my I don't think I get any. Oh, I do get a +1 to my attack, so that is an 11.
Roll your damage.
Yay! All right.
And I assume you stab him like where?
Yeah. Well, I got a 1 of damage, so I just honestly, it's less about killing him and more about I'm gonna go. I want to knock that thing out of his hand because he has a gun and the wand, right?
He's put the wand
can?
back in his pocket, and he's holding
Okay.
the bag with that hand, with his left hand, and the gun with his right hand.
Okay, I'm going for the gun hand. I'm gonna try to stab him in the shoulder, his right shoulder, and try to like get him to and hit him as hard as I can on his wrist to try to get him to drop that gun.
He drops the gun, and it goes off as it hits the floor. Bam!
Oh shit.
I also wanted to leap into motion when they did.
Okay.
I want to just pull the knife from my sleeve and throw it at the guy that's wrestling with the machine gun, aiming also sort of for the meaty shoulder to see if I can get him to let go.
Okay, do that for me, please.
I got a 12.
So,
Is that enough?
and as a reminder, I just gotta back up here. Ranged attack is your attack plus your dex bonus, and then your strength attack plus your attack bonus is just okay. So,
Unfortunately, I have a 0 attack and a 0 dex. But if I had either of those, that would be very useful.
what did you roll for that,
12.
Amelia? 12?
12.
That is a successful shot. The
Wait,
knife
4.
soars through the air and jams right into this guy's arm.
3.
Nice.
Nice. His grip is loosened on that side. Apollo, you have an opportunity to snatch that thing away from him again.
Okay, I will try that. That's a strength check.
Yeah, at advantage again, because now his grip is loosened.
All right, this time, oddly enough, my strength modifier is 0, but I've rolled a 15.
Okay. You do successfully pull it out of his hands.
Awesome. Do I have time left in the turn to hit him with it in the head? Or is that
I'd say yeah. Yeah.
All right, I'll roll an attack with that. 16. Oh, I'm sorry,
that is
18.
That is the hit. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and then what would the damage be to hit a guy with his own gun? Probably like a club, yeah?
Yeah, I'd say club. It's at a D4.
Yeah,
Clunk.
2 damage.
Going for a knockout blow.
Yeah.
You smash him as hard as you can there in the head. He stumbles back, shakes it off a bit, and he brings his fist up, preparing to punch you.
I laughed.
The other guy drops to the floor and is like trying to grab at his gun. and pick it
Okay.
up.
I'm still on top of him, right?
Yeah, you've kind of ridden him down to the ground, and he's
Yeah.
he's trying to crawl away and get the gun.
I am. First, really quickly, when the gun went off, I guess I don't know if anybody's been hit yet. I'm not hit, so I can't turn around and look yet.
I'll say the bullet went into the fountain, and now there's water spilling out on the ground, making it slippery.
All right. I am going to maintain character and be screaming, "You brute! You brute! How dare you!" and just be slapping and hitting at his face wildly, which is, of course, to distract him while I am picking his pocket for that device.
Marvelous.
Nice.
I'm going for the device first, ahead of the gun, ahead of knocking him out. Cora is very object focused.
Just roll for the pocket pick. And,
All right. Stealth, I assume?
Yes, I believe that's right.
All right.
Yeah.
Ah!
So,
That is just a 3. Even with my bonus, I rolled a 2 plus 1.
you slip your hand into his pocket to grab it, and he feels that. So he his hand snatches back, and in the process, he kind of rolls over, and you're now both kind of like flat on the ground.
Okay.
And he's like grabbed your wrist to prevent the pocket pick.
When I see the gun fall, I would like to stand up from the table and walk my way gently across the wet floor and pick it up while they're wrestling, if I can get there before them.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm trained now.
Absolutely.
I've been practicing. I'm going to cock it and aim it at him if I can get to it.
Yeah, you're able to retrieve it from the floor without any hindrance and
Oh there,
cock
friends.
and aim it at the guy.
Before we continue, I'd like to point out that you no longer possess the guns.
Big guy standing there with his hands, and he like looks to his friend on the ground, and then he like turns to run out the door. Dunk, dunk, dunk.
I look at his friend on the ground and
yeah.
say, I do believe your line at this point was, we're taking all your valuables. You can go now.
Does he?
Nice. Well,
Is there like a an opportunity attack system in this game? Because I don't want that guy leaving.
You can react to his turning to run. Yeah, that's no problem.
Yeah.
As you cock and aim the gun to this guy, Amelia, he stops struggling and he pulls his hand out of his pocket, releases your hand, Cora, and raises both hands on his back, looking up toward. I guess like Amelia's standing there, pointing down at him. You now have that device in your grip, Cora.
Nice. Yeah, I do that, and I will roll out of the way, so like, and just as I tuck it into my own pocket, just relying on the chaos to kind of carry us through this. And as soon as I'm clear, it's kind of scrambled up to my feet. So I'm assuming Cora's going to sort of hold for that moment where just like chaos breaks out. And as you know, the immediate danger is over, the situation is resolved. I'm going to, I'll grab Lottie and we will just sort of like give you guys the sign, like, I got the thing, meet you back at HQ. And Lottie and I will make a swift, unobtrusive exit so we are not here when the cops arrive.
Okay.
Indeed.
Up to you two if you want to stay or not.
Well, I'm
Well,
still hitting this guy.
I was gonna say, while you were gun pointing, snatching it out, starting to get up, this guy turns to run Apollo. Yeah.
So whether I hit him or not depends on whether I still have advantage or not.
I'd say yeah, because his back's to you.
Okay. Well, in that case, it's a 13 to hit.
That is a hit. Yes.
Okay. I'll roll that D4 again. I'm aiming for the lower extremities, just to stop him.
You firing the gun, or are you like trying to?
Oh no, I'm swinging it like a club again. I don't want to kill this
Okay.
guy. That's another 2 damage. But specifically, what I'm aiming to do is knock his feet out from under him.
Yeah, you hit him in the legs. He kind of trips up and stumbles, and then falls face first into the sidewalk outside with an audible thump. And you see this cloud of dust rise up around his body, Apollo.
I would like to remove the suspenders I'm probably wearing and restrain him.
Okay.
On that thought, in fact, you, sir, please just remain upon the floor and don't move. Your constabulary probably does wish to speak with you. And I'll hold and wait for the police to arrive, I suppose.
The crowd inside all erupt in applause and cheer. Oh my God! Thank you so much. Oh my God! Where's that bag? Where's my mother's necklace? My dad.
Yeah, the bag's not there anymore.
Or did he get away? No.
Like, where did it go?
Now
Oh
we
my
know why you
gosh.
tried to let him go.
Apollo, give me a strength check to like manipulate that. He's resisting a little bit, but
All right.
he's on his face though, so it won't be a high check.
It's actually a 10.
Okay, yeah, you're able to lash him up pretty good.
All right.
After you tie him up and roll him over, his already flattened nose is even flatter and a little bloody from going face dive in the concrete.
Well, you're not going to be as pretty as you were, but them's the licks.
Lottie is tugging at your shoulder, Cora. You can't take that bag. That stuff belongs to those people.
Lottie, I find your youthful naivete so naive. But very well. And I, I will go through the bag and just let me get my own things, and I'll just grab my own items out of the bag, and maybe when Lottie is not looking, just sort of, tuck into my sleeve one or two other just key things, just nothing wild, maybe a little bit of the cash that, who could say who that belonged to in the first place? I put in my cash. I don't remember exactly how much that was. This feels about right. And I will go ahead and give Lottie the bag and send her on back while I go to find a fence.
Okay. All right. She brings the bag in.
I send her back with 95% of it.
Yeah, there you go. So she goes back in to redistribute the things. A few minutes later, there is the sound of sirens coming. Apollo, Amelia, will you stick around for the police or leave?
Oh, absolutely. Apollo's an upstanding citizen.
We did make a bit of a splash at this point.
Yeah, I don't think I ever put my money in the bag. I don't think they started on my end of the room, but if they did, I will take it back.
Absolutely. So you guys each get your personal belongings back. I assume Cora didn't accidentally keep Amelia's money.
I don't.
I had $1,
Yes,
so if
money,
she did,
yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
Doesn't
what
have
I
her
had
name
on me.
it.
Probably nothing but a wallet or a money clip or something. I'm sure I didn't bring the entire contents of my character sheet to the coffee shop.
Yeah. The police arrive and they just have a few quick questions and they thank you, Apollo. They look around and it's like, and thank you, Amelia, for assisting them. It's good, upstanding citizens like you that will keep New York safe. Hopefully, more people will do this. But God, the criminals are running rampant in this town.
Well, I certainly wouldn't want to have your job.
Yes, I must admit, officer, this is not something that I'm quite used to where I'm from. Tell me, do you know what sort of gang or group these gentlemen are representatives of, that they come into coffee shops like this?
Well, since the end of the country being dry and we can now sell alcohol freely, the gangsters are broadening their business scope. They no longer can make money in their speakeasies. They are now just resorted to petty crime and robbing banks like they once did before temperance. But these guys look like they might be good old Bobby Knuckle Nose's men, literally off the top of my head. Sorry.
Bobby Knuckle, no, 100% believe Bobby Knuckle Nose.
Bobby Knuckle Nose.
I forgot just how very colorful some of the American nicknames can be.
They got a penchant for wearing these black and gray pinstripes. One of the cops is like looking up at you, Apollo. Haven't I seen you somewhere before, sir?
Very possibly. I'm a professional circus performer.
Oh, that might be it.
Yes, I've been to New York in that capacity many times.
Not surprised you're able to take this big man out right here. Gee, I saw you lift some stuff and bend some bars. I was amazed at your talent.
Well, I appreciate your appreciation.
Right. We're gonna haul these guys off the jail now. You all have a good evening. If you ever have an interest in police work, Mr. Johnson, look us up.
I keep getting offers like that.
And I walk over to the big guy and yank my knife back out of his arm. Have a lovely evening.
Yeah, the cop's like, oh yeah.
Been in there the whole time.
we were gonna take that in as evidence, but yeah.
It's the 1930s. Who cares?
Surely the wound itself is evidence enough.
CSI
Absolutely.
1935.
You have a car that's like parked down the street and around the corner, so maybe that's where you've gone, Cora, to wait for the others.
When they get there, I am twirling this mysterious wand with the bulb just between my fingers, just making it sort of dance. Like, I can't believe you waited for the cops. Insane. Don't you know anything about maintaining a low profile?
We we did a public service. Why would we not want to speak with the police?
Absolutely. We were heroes.
Cora, even in your line of work, you should learn it's always helpful to have John Law on your side.
Indeed, if we ever run into him again, he'll think of us as being very upstanding citizens who couldn't possibly be doing anything nefarious, and he'll believe us.
Well, you two be the upstanding citizens. I'll be the citizen that isn't there when the cops arrive.
Very well.
And
Amelia,
indeed, how...
take a look at this. What is this?
Indeed, what is this?
Question as a game master, did you guys take their goggles off of them as well before the cops
No,
got
I
here?
forgot about the goggles.
Oh, somehow I did not hear that they were wearing goggles.
That's right, they had the fizzy blue light goggles on.
They did.
Okay.
Assuming that as Cora I saw, I mean...
I wouldn't have even if I
Would you
known.
allow me to retro that?
Yeah, I would.
that
I would.
well?
Yeah, that's why I
just
asked.
forgot
Yeah.
about that.
In
Yeah,
case you
thank
guys
you
had
for the
forgotten.
reminder.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Apollo would not have tried to take the goggles.
yeah. Cora absolutely would have tried. Yes.
They are 1935 versions of night vision goggles, so yeah, very handy.
So sort of like the aviator style with like the double lenses.
Yeah, aviator
double
style with like
lenses.
this little
Yeah.
faint blue lights around the rims. Yeah.
Well, those are sharp.
Hmm.
Examining this tube, is this anything that is familiar at all to me?
It does not. It's pretty high tech. It's not like something you've ever seen before. Same with the goggles. You've not seen anything quite like them either.
These are quite extraordinary.
I will, now that there's backup here, I will very carefully sort of look at them and without putting them over my head, but just hold my eyes up to the lenses. What do I see?
The street is well lit with the street lamps, but there are some shadowy areas that you can't see. With the goggles on, those areas come into focus. The pale blue light it's like the area is lit up by that pale blue light, so you're able to see into the shadowy spaces.
Friends, a most extraordinary thing. Look at this. It's a try. And I'll hand these over. Since Amelia's got the wand, I'll give it to Apollo first. Look over there into the shadow.
What's in the shadow?
Well, nothing, but I can see in the shadow.
Yes, you can see that there's nothing in the news. Piles
It's
of garbage.
astonishing. It's as though everything were lit up.
Oh, my word. So they brought in a
That-
device that turned the lights off and then could see in the dark with the... That's quite clever.
That's good.
Some sort of mad scientist must be on their payroll.
Indeed.
Well.
I don't know how one goes from selling hooch to this sort of technological marvel. I think the inspector might be barking up the wrong tree.
Yes,
My
anything.
thoughts.
Anyone who could invent something like this could make plenty of money without robbing coffee shop.
I agree entirely. The
very good
potential,
point.
the lack of imagination to use
Or
this.
I
in
mean
that
by selling
soda.
them.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
yes,
Cora's
cool.
like, oh yeah.
We have to
Uh,
find out who made these. This cannot. My first thought, honestly, is that these are stolen. And these. But honestly, we must find out who made them. There's some story here. There is some game afoot that common criminals like these would come into possession of these incredible technology.
Indeed, he claimed it
Agreed.
was from his boss, so that would indicate either they're working for someone very intelligent or someone who is buying things from someone very intelligent.
Did your new friends, the police officers, happen to mention any suspects, any names, any gang affiliations?
Indeed, there was the
Knuckle-nose-
hooch runners, Bobby Knobby Nose, Knuckle Nose, some
Knuckle-nose-
very colorful
Knuckle knows
nose.
something.
Oh, Bobby Knucklenose, of course.
Yes.
Can I roll to see if I know Bobby Knucklenose? If there's any, I don't
Yeah, a
think
lore
I have
check.
that as-
Yeah, a
I
lore
don't
check would
remember.
do.
Sure. Yeah, I don't have that one.
That's a
Uh,
0.
Yeah, it's a 0 for me. All right, it's a 12.
Yeah, you have heard of Bobby Knucklenose.
Yeah.
He works out of the Bronx, and that he is more of an arm twister than subtle. So the idea of him having these types of devices doesn't ring true to you either.
Yes. He is not the type to, well, he's exactly the type to stumble upon extraordinary objects like this and use them in cheap holdups of cafes. Certainly, this warrants further investigation. He must have obtained these through some strange means.
Yes, I would say finding out how he got his hands upon these would be very interesting.
Yes.
Are we heading to the Bronx then?
I believe that we are.
Mr. Johnson, how do you feel about traveling with us to the Bronx? I hear it's lovely this time of year.
I'll drive.
Are we all just like, we all came in like the Ivory Tower company car?
Basically, yeah. Lottie
Love it.
is usually the driver, but yeah, she will relent to Apollo Johnson.
Yeah, I think
When you drive on the wrong side of the road here, yes.
I think, despite his many years living among circus folk where everyone does what they have to, I think Apollo's still uncomfortable letting a woman drive.
Distressingly old-fashioned of you, Apollo.
Is it in 1935?
It's the new world. It's the new, the modern woman can drive just as well as a man.
I'm not sure
Yes,
you're
after all, I
legally
hear you're allowed
to
to vote here now. Yes. Have been for several years.
We can vote, we can drive. Another 50
Might own
years,
property
we'll be able
one
to
day
get credit
soon.
Wait,
cards.
are you telling me
Oh my God.
women can drive now? Legally?
That I don't know. I don't know about that.
I legitimately don't know
But
that
they can
information.
vote.
Based on The Great Gatsby, yes.
Okay.
Wow.
You drove.
Well,
I'm
driver's
pretty sure
licenses
David-
I mean, I think
Jordan drove.
Apollo.
Jordan was a terrible driver in that.
License. What is this license you speak of that's
Yes.
required? I don't know.
I
about
think
Yeah,
that.
because the
Apollo is
driver's
not-
licenses are not common, really.
That's
yet.
true. Yeah.
Does
I
that-
think
for
Apollo
shooting
will not
vehicles,
put up
how
a
many,
fight.
How many can you hunt on a license?
I think Apollo will not put up a fight if Lottie insists on driving, but he will just sort of expect to be expected to drive.
She shifts over to the passenger seat to allow you to drive, Apollo. She's like,
Quick
I always
question.
get so nervous behind the wheel. It's just all these people around here. They drive, really crazy. The people back in England don't drive quite as sporadic and strange.
Yeah, Apollo drives way too slowly. He's extremely
Yeah.
careful. He's doing signals constantly.
Quick question: how old is Lottie?
In her early 20s, maybe.
Okay, just wanted to be sure. I assumed she was not like a child sidekick, but just wanted to be.
No, Lottie was the niece of the caretaker of the house that I stayed in with the ivory keys back in England. And she traveled with me here.
Mm-hmm. Noted. Thank you. All right. As we drive on the way, shall we formulate a plan, friends? We can. I am familiar with Bobby Knucklenose. He certainly doesn't run in my circles, but he is a very simple and violent individual. We don't need. I don't know that subtlety is the play here, frankly. But at the same time, he's a violent man who responds to violence. He should be easy to trick if we can come up with something appropriate. I don't put much stock in his intelligence, but at the same time, it could be that a more I say we can either try to trick him in some way. We can perhaps try to enter his headquarters and simply, for lack of a better term, toss the place, or frontal assault.
Well,
if he is
going
the-
off the
Go ahead.
going off the thought of trying to trick him, you run in circles enough that you would be able to pass yourself off as a local connection I might have as someone who is a purveyor of interesting marvels, and we perhaps heard of the poor event that happened today, but saw what occurred and know that the police have his technology, so we weren't able to procure it, but we're interested in procuring. Someone would like to buy it from him. And who did he get it from?
That is an excellent idea.
I agree.
Amelia, you are absolutely wasted in academia.
Frontal
And of course,
assault
Mr.
is-
Johnson can stand behind us and flex in very impressive ways to encourage good behavior.
That would seem
As
to
long
be
as
my
you stay
role.
with the car.
Yes. That
Or
would
you can
not.
keep the engine running.
Good on
What
you,
I've heard of
buddy.
the Bronx, that's a good idea.
Yes,
That
the frontal assault idea is suicide if he is indeed a man with men at his command. But the devious play does seem to be the best option.
I like it.
I mean, those goggles alone, I mean, the ability to turn off the lights, I don't want to know what else he has if we attack.
Indeed, that's an excellent point.
Perhaps we
Very well.
should swing by headquarters first and acquire some of our gear. I don't have my.
Let Sam know what's going on.
Yes.
That is, yes, indeed.
I don't have my
will-
pistol or my vest.
Yes, I shall require a costume change.
I only own the one shirt, but it's clean, right?
Nope, you are, Mr. Johnson, you are perfect exactly as you are.
Thank you.
Yeah, Cora's a little damp from rolling around on the wet floor.
Yes, I am. Honestly, that's damp is not a bad look for the character I'm going to be portraying here. But yes, it is. But yes, still, Cora would like to not be damp just for personal preference. Yeah, so we head over to headquarters then.
Okay.
You get to the headquarters. Samuel Whitman, the headquarters caretaker. Yes, I see you've returned for the evening. How was your
Just a
night out
drop
on the
in,
ground?
Mr. Whitman. Just a quick drop in. It was
Mm.
turned into a very exciting night, and it's not over yet.
Oh, a drop in, you say? Then, an exciting night. What happened?
I'll let them tell you about it. I'm already throwing my coat over a chair unless I'm heading to my room to get changed.
I imagine
As it
there's
turns
some
out-
sort of strong box near the entrance that members can put their stuff in. I'm just putting in my pistol, my machete, a rope, a crowbar. I've got a protective vest. I put on a leather jacket. By the way, Mia, you gave me this protective vest during our level 0 play. Is that the same as a bulletproof vest from the book?
Yes.
Awesome. So I'll put that under the shirt, and then I'll put a leather jacket over it. And all of a sudden, I look like a mob enforcer.
Marvelous.
Goodness, Mr. Apollo, you seem to be preparing for battle.
Well,
Yeah.
hopefully most of this is for show. I'm taking on the role of a muscle man. Well, I'm taking on a role of someone's muscle. I suppose
Nice.
I am a
Turns out
muscle
we-
man.
We found ourselves at the hands of some ruffians who were in charge of some rather stunning technological marvels, and we feel we need to do something about it.
Oh. Okay then. Well, as long as you are careful, I will. And then the phone rings. Ring, ring.
What's
Oh,
that
please
noise?
Please excuse me while I get the phone.
Traveling
Yeah,
circus.
even short, two-way communication on radios was a thing too. Yes, I understand. Oh goodness, right away. Yes, ma'am. Okay, tomorrow morning. Yes. Okay. Click. All right, everybody. Can you tell me where you're going, just in case? Because we may need you first thing tomorrow morning. If you do not return, could be a problem.
Yes,
Bobby Knucklenose.
we're going to the Bronx.
To
Yes,
tussle with Bobby Knucklenose? Are
Not
you
to tussle
crazy?
with him. We're going there to tussle with his wits.
Going to extract information, I say, coming out, and I'm wearing a cheaper, louder coat My makeup's gotten a little edgier, flashier, and I've tacked a truly, truly tacky fascinator to my head with like 3 peacock feathers. It looks horrible. Thank you. Thank
Astounding. You look amazing, Cora.
Thank you, Apollo.
Right.
What's happening tomorrow morning?
Oh, Lady Kensington has asked that we send some folks over to visit with her. There seems to have been an incident earlier this evening.
Would that happen to involve a holdup of a cafe in which some strange and unusual devices were seen to be at play?
No. She said that the problem with Jasper, but would not explain what the problem is over the phone.
Jasper, the sign languaging monkey?
Yes, the very one.
Monkey business. My goodness.
Have you ladies had the pleasure of meeting Jasper?
I don't know that I have.
No, neither have. No.
Okay, I'm the only one.
Is this the first time Can this be the first time I have heard of Jasper, or would I have known about this before?
It could be the first time, unless Apollo had told you at some time in the recent few days. But yeah.
I imagine it's very interesting, and Apollo would want to tell people about it. But also, a lot of other stuff's been going on. So if you want to have not heard of it, that's cool.
And I sign language monkey, very good.
Yes, he had some sort of medallion around his neck that would glow, and then he could speak to you in sign language. I only know a couple of words, so I didn't understand him, but it's the first time that a monkey spoke a language I didn't understand.
That would be quite something to experience.
I
look
number
forward,
of
I
friends
suppose,
who
to
are
meeting him.
monkeys.
But monkeys that speak.
I cannot imagine what the 3 of us can possibly do for a monkey, but I look forward to finding out in the morning. Mr. Whitman, we will hopefully be back well before dawn.
And indeed, before we go, I'd like to pull out the technology and hand it over for them to study while we're gone, since we don't want it to get taken by the mob while we're there.
Oh,
this is what was used for that. We have some sort of seeing in the dark capacity and the ability to turn off lights. Don't activate the rod. It somehow shoots blue fire that turns everything off. We should look at it, but very carefully.
Oh, fascinating. I'll be sure that these get into the hands of the proper people to discover its inner workings.
Yes, we are out to discover its origins and how it fell into the hands of common criminals.
Common they were.
Incredibly.
Pressingly common.
Well, tread lightly and try not to draw too much attention, and be careful.
Indubitably.
Bang on the vest.
Always. Shall we?
Bye-bye, he says. Off we go.
Off we go. I again drive very slowly over to the Bronx.
What is it? Na 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 na.
I suppose we should have told Sam not to leave the light on. At this rate, we won't be home before dawn.
Oh, no. Well, hopefully. No, that's not quite right. Well, hopefully, you see, we will be back. Yes, that's the one. All right. Okay.
I'm ready. Details of time before we arrive.
Oh, what do you want your alias to be, sister?
Ooh, indeed. Claire Noble. I can remember that. Hated her in school.
Very good. All right.
I suppose I'll just go by Butch. But you ladies can do the talking. I'll stand behind you and look large.
Alrighty.
You know that Knucklenose has a club that he operates out of. This would probably be the first and best place to interact with him and his cronies.
Alrighty.
We can go celebrate the lifting of prohibition and have a drink.
I love it. Now you're talking my language. All right. When we get there, here's a question. Let me see. Sorry, I'm mixing up. Can I, as Cora, have? Can we say that I have an identity that I've established already, kind of in the New York criminal underworld?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah. I have advantage to my charisma, or excuse me, advantage to my communications roles when I'm trying to trick or confuse somebody.
Excellent.
Okay, sweet.
All right.
Okay. As you park the car, Lottie's like, I guess I'll stay here. She kind of looks around nervously at the neighborhood.
You want us to give you a gun, Lottie?
She's got one of her own. She's like, I've got my own. I just, I hate fire in it. I jump each time. But I'll be right here waiting.
That's the spirit, kid. I punch her a little too hard on the shoulder. All right, I will lead the way with swagger.
As you make your way down the street, the sound of jazz music is flooding out of his club.
Place is jumping tonight.
We will call it the I don't even know what to call it. You guys want to name this club?
The Knuckled Under.
Oh yeah.
The Weddle? Knuckled Under?
Knuckled Under, yes.
Okay, all right. As you approach, there's a small crowd of people outside. They're all just kind of like, there are some tables sitting outside, kind of like cafe tables even in the outside. They're sitting around drinking. By the door are two large men with their arms crossed as you approach.
All right. I walk right up. Hey there, boys. How's it going tonight? Is the boss in? Got a real exciting news for him.
They look down at you physically, not metaphorically. What is your alias again?
I'm standing.
I didn't.
Like this.
I didn't say, but it's like, boys, it's me, Polly Walker.
Polly, it's been a while since we've seen you around these parts. What's your
Oh,
business
you
here
know
with
it.
the boss?
Got some real exciting folks that want to meet him here. Can't say much more, you know.
Looks to Amelia. Amelia, are you dressed to the nines? Or are you kind of?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
And I'm not looking at them. I'm not making eye contact. I'm pretending they don't exist and that I'm just waiting for the door to open by itself.
It's like you got so. Oh, sorry.
Apollo is quietly enjoying the prospect that in this setting, being the largest person makes you invisible.
Both.
I'll lean in and be like, come on, boys. It's a real important lady and the boss wants to see her. Don't make me look bad, please. And I will roll
got yourself a big fish on the hook, huh?
Oh, you know it. You know it. Do you need me to roll communication to get at them, or?
Nah.
Alrighty.
All right. Step on in.
Thanks,
They
boys.
both, as you walk by Apollo, both guys like turn their head and watch you go by. They're about the same
I'll
size.
nod at them, professional courtesy style.
Yeah. Oh, and as I go by, like, I hope your mom's leg's doing better, Sammy.
Oh, thanks, Polly. Thanks very much.
All right. Okay. So we will head on in, and I am assuming that I would probably know where the owner's table / office is. We'll probably start there. Kind of look for him at the best table in the room.
Yeah, the places you come in, there's like a bar on the left side, and then like a floor with a variety of tables. There's a live band playing to the right side of the room, and to the far back is kind of like this concave circular space and the boss's table is back there. And you also know that behind that table, there is a curtain that leads into a back area. As you've seen people go in and out of that before.
Doing a quick sweep of the room, how many look like they are armed thugs of his versus just normal crowd people?
There are maybe like 4 people stationed around the room, one near the bar, one up near the band, and then 2 back by the main table, by the boss's table.
All right. So we head over to the table. Is he there at the table? Or are we going past the table through the curtain?
As you approach, as you're crossing the room to get close, you see him leaning back. It's kind of like a booth there. And he's got a woman on each side and like 2 other like henchmen sitting on the corners of the table. And he sees you coming and he's like, he raises his hand up. There. And he sees you coming and he waves you over.
Well, that's actually a good start. All right. All right. I will stroll right up. Say, Mr. Knucklenose, it is such a pleasure. I don't think we've ever met before in person, but perhaps you may know me by reputation. I am, of course, Polly Walker. I am a communicator, connector of people of certain means, importance, and I have somebody who would like to meet you for a potentially lucrative opportunity.
Well, you've certainly got away with words, young lady, and I am familiar and I have seen you around these parts. You have been in my club before, have you not?
I have indeed, but never had the opportunity to approach you with a deal of this sort before. I don't waste people's time, Mr. Knucklenose. I would not bother you with something that is trivial or small or a waste of your time.
Boys,
May I please?
boys, get up. Let the ladies sit down.
Thank you so much. May I introduce to you, sir, Dr. Claire Noble, preeminent scientist, archaeologist, historian, academic. I don't know where this accent is going. That's good. But it's just going with it. We're going with it.
That's a big sell right there.
It is a big sell. And we may have a very lucrative opportunity for you.
She did not mention primarily I am the representative of... I'm going totally southern. Oh my gosh.
I
We're
drifted there myself.
We're just traveling accents tonight.
All over the world today.
Monday night, we're just throwing it out there.
Yes, well, mostly I'm the representative of my husband, Lord Noble, who is in fact at home at our estate. He never really leaves the estate much, but he allows me to travel, and I procure things of I'm still southern, procure things of interest to myself, and I have a little bird at the police station who pointed out to me something that they brought in this evening along with a few gentlemen who they say works for your organization. It was a rod of some sort and some very fancy goggles, and I would very much like to speak with you about where exactly you came into those. I would like to also say that money is no object.
I would like to scan the room and see if his guys are reacting to this conversation at all.
Go ahead and roll an alertness on that to get a good look.
See if they know that their guys are arrested yet or not.
Paula's real distracted.
What did you roll, actually?
Total of 7.
7? Yeah, you're a little distracted. It's dark in there. You're having a little trouble seeing as there's people moving around and such.
Nobody's shining spotlights into my face, and I'm not used to that.
Yeah. Some of the ladies are wearing like outfits with like rhinestones that are kind of glinting, and the spark blinds you a little bit, I guess. Knucklenose like leans a little forward. Is like, oh, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm sorry, what, Miss Noble, Dr. Noble?
I prefer Lady Noble, really, but Dr. Noble is perfectly acceptable as my husband is not around. and I offer my hand.
You say the police picked up 2 of my men. That's the first I've heard of that.
Oh, well, I suppose bad news doesn't travel as quickly as interesting news, and my goodness, the news was interesting that I heard. Apparently, all the lights on the block went out.
Intriguing. He does this with his head real quick, and his 2 men move closer to the table.
Mr. Knucklenose, and now I'm.
I also
What?
moved closer to the table just for.
Mr. Knucklenose, I'm sorry. I would perhaps would have approached you a little more discreetly if I had known if this was, shall we say, not an authorized operation by your boys. But no, it's word is out there, sir, that they came through, and it was pretty dramatic. What happened? Shut down the whole, just like the lady said, shut down the whole block. Word is out, sir, that they are working, that you've got these items on you. I would suggest, sir, I mean, it is your business, of course, but Lady Noble here does represent an opportunity to remove any, shall we say, evidence at quite a profit to yourself before the police arrive.
As a representative of my Lord Husband, I have diplomatic immunity, and so none of my bags will be searched by the police when I travel back across the ocean. I could make this very much worth your while, considering it was my contact at the police station that told me your name and sent me here. I would not imagine they're far behind me.
Intriguing that you would say that, considering that he breathes on his fingernails, buffs him a little bit, that half the police department are on my payroll.
Oh,
And yet you...
Are
Are you
you
saying that the police didn't inform you of what went down tonight?
trying to pull a fast one on me, Polly? Boys, get them out of my club now.
Mr. Knucklenose, I would never.
I will step between the boys and the ladies, and I will, but rather than staring down the boys, I will extend my hand to help the ladies up.
Mr. Knucklenose, if you wish us to leave, we will leave, but I have to tell you, this is not at all, I think you've got entirely the wrong idea. We came here in good faith, well, not with cash in hand, because we weren't born yesterday, but with cash ready. If you change your mind, you can reach out to me, and I'll start to pull the card out and hand it to him and think better of it and put it down on the table. You can reach out to us anytime, but if I were you, sir, I'd move fast.
Miss Walker, if he doesn't see the red flag of not being informed by his half of the police force apparently being on his payroll, when I found out in time to make it all the way down here after the event was already complete, I don't wish to speak to him from inside a jail cell. My business is concluded. And I
You
put my
like
hand
Lady
onto Butch's and say, Butch, let's leave.
One of the ladies with him reaches out and draws the card across so that he can take it. Cora, it's like, it's
is
nice
a drop.
seeing you again. It's nice meeting you, Polly.
It's nice to meet you too as well, sir. I hope that we can do business in the future. I'll start to doff my hat and then realize it's a fascinator and just sort of do like an awkward and as I'm backing away and just all right. All right.
As you are leaving the club, the rest of his men have kind of converged to basically bulldoze you out without.
I am.
The bumps, boys. The bumps rush is not necessary. We are leaving.
I feel like I'm positioning myself in such a way that they can't bum rush us out without actually shoving and doing violence.
Yeah, I don't mean actual pushing you out, but creating that barrier and
Pressure.
closing in on you. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
I'm just
stay away from you, but they're obviously
keeping us from
Yeah.
ducking through the back curtain suddenly and unexpectedly.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, but
that
we're
didn't-
leaving. They don't need to
Yeah.
overexert themselves.
Yeah, I'm not going to attempt anything. We'll head out. I'll head out. Yeah.
By the way, I looked it up. New York State began requiring driver's licenses in 1924, and there is no mention of gender restrictions on the licenses or of any time
Hey.
when women started getting them. So this is all just Apollo's assumptions, is what's going on.
Yes.
Not even sure if Apollo has a license.
Rivals.
You do see Knucklenose get up from the table and leave into the back room as you guys are exiting the building.
Yeah.
At the very least, we now have the lay of the land. We know he has at least 4 gentlemen inside, and that he was not yet aware of what went down.
That is surprising to me, indeed. I'm assuming that we are by now clear of the club, and
I waited
Yeah.
until we were
No,
not
we're-
inside.
we're back in the car. Yes. Yeah, we leave without incident, and unless something else happens, but I make it exit in character.
And I'm going to need to
Yeah.
make notes about this for any later sessions we may
Alright.
hold. Like,
Oh,
Yeah,
that was-
I definitely feel like bringing this back.
Yes.
We're not even halfway through.
Lottie's like, so no progress with the crime boss.
Well, I wouldn't say no, Lottie. I'd say not as much as we'd hoped.
I would say the progress will come after the police arrive, since he'll be informed either positively or negatively of the events of tonight and find out we were not in fact trying to pull a fast one, and that he turned down a legitimate offer. And I would imagine that Miss Walker will be hearing from him.
Indeed. The only question, really the only question that I have is, do we wish to attempt to get into that back office? Perhaps, I don't think it would be a good idea to attempt that tonight when he is on his guard. Certainly most likely the best time to do it will be in the hours of the morning when the club is preparing for the cleaning up from the prior night and getting ready for the new night, which may mean that we do indeed have a much earlier night than we thought we would. We'll be on time for our monkey
business.
appointment.
While we're still in the area, I think Apollo would like to go around behind the club and see if I can spot the window to that office.
Yeah, by all means, scope it out.
Mm.
I will accompany, if that's all right. I'll do a fast change in the car, change out that very loud and flashy fascinator and coat for a more practical working woman's jacket and little working hat to change my look up and accompany you.
Yeah,
I'd say
and
like
I'll-
Lottie, and you're like, Lottie, give me your coat, give me your coat.
Oh yeah, Lottie, I require your coat immediately.
and I will
Wear
take-
this. It's got peacock feathers on it.
I will shove a bowler hat on top of my bald head to disguise myself.
Don't want any
And-
street lamps catching on that, giving you away in the dark.
And I would say I will then ask Lottie to have me circle the block a few times, and I will just sort of noticeably be visibly at the window watching for the police to come and arrive at his front door, and just circle the block as a sort of distraction while they're doing that. So that if anyone's watching, they see me and my peacock feathered driver watching for the police to prove us right.
So yeah, you were able to scout out the alley and determine like a window into the back. There's also a heavy steel door on the back of the building as well.
Is the window barred or anything?
It is not, but it's like a second story window versus the.
So we think the office is up there.
Is there any sort of fire escape back here or back entrance?
The,
Oh, sorry. I thought froze for a second.
as I say, the building across the alley's got a fire escape. It's a slightly taller building, but this building with his club in it does not have a fire escape.
Well, that's no good. That's downright dangerous. And all of my friends put their heads in the mouths of lions.
Yes, but they don't put the audience's heads into the mouths of lions, now do they?
The thing about a heavy metal door is you don't actually need to break the entire door. You can just break the latch.
Quite. I like the way you think, Mr. Johnson.
Do we want to do that now? Or do we want to go away for a little bit and sneak back later?
I really think that we should come back later, Mr. Johnson. I think this is the busiest time and most visible time, and he's on his guard. But I will... very good. Thank you.
All right, off we go. Where are we going to go in the meantime? Just somewhere to chill, or we have something to do?
You have your meeting in the morning at Lady Kensington's apartment.
Yeah, but I think we're coming back here before that.
I'm going to wherever my bed is to have a sleep. Is that at the club, or is that at the Ivory Key?
Yeah,
Or
it's
do
a
I
safe
have
house.
any-
It's like a fancy, like a brownstone that everybody's kind of stationed in.
Oh, absolutely head back there. That's my vote. Is let's get some shut eye.
Yeah, we'll get like 4 hours sleep and then head back.
Indeed.
So are we pulling this caper here tonight, or are we having our monkey business and then doing this tomorrow night?
I think tonight.
What time? I thought we just agreed that we wouldn't be doing it tonight.
I thought we agreed that we'd be doing it early morning before.
This is why I ask.
What time
Well,
is
we
our
could go to
appointment?
break and we can,
Yes. What's
Yeah.
work it out? All right, everybody, get out your Google calendars. Let's see what our
Apparently-
deal is. Walk it
Apparently,
out.
Meredith heard us say two different things.
Yes. Well, it sounds like we are on two different pages.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's good.
Fine, fine.
We'll go to break. We'll be back in 10 minutes. We'll work out this nonsense, and we'll see you guys then.
We'll have whatever
Thank you.
accents we have.
Oh, no sleep.
Welcome back.
Oh, we're going right now.
Hip cheerio,
Right now.
all that.
Like, are you ready? No.
I thought I heard 3 yeses.
Oh yeah,
Maybe I
we're
didn't.
ready. I'm just being...
We're back. Some of us more so than others. Yeah. What's going on? We're going to bed. That's what's happening.
Yes, on our off-camera conversation as we returned to the safe house, we explained that a nightclub's downtime is between 10 in the morning to 2 or 3 in the afternoon. So it makes more sense to attend upon Lady Kensington first and attend to her monkey.
But Apollo Johnson is still confused about people staying up past midnight when they don't have to. Like, don't they know that you need your sleep?
Yes, but Mr. Johnson, what they do is that they sleep during the day.
That is not healthy.
On a personal note,
Yeah.
I'm usually in bed by 10:30 or 11. You know, but
Anyway,
Anyway,
what time is
So
it
yeah,
where you are,
right
Mia?
along.
it's 10 after 12. It's tomorrow for you all.
I imagine Amelia at that point would start giving Apollo a lecture about how, there's these places that are really far north where the sun doesn't set for months at a time and the people there are perfectly healthy. And
Oh no, they go quite mad. I've read about these folk.
I'm just enjoying this, by the way. Watching, watching the two of them go.
A man
You all
can
have
adapt to a
separate
lot
work,
of
yeah.
things, but after a number of years in a place like that, they are not the same anymore.
well, I don't know that they would be the same, perhaps, but healthy. And you were saying it was a question of your health, and I don't think that their health is impacted by the light. They're not plants, although
Well-
the plants of that area are indeed fascinating as well.
Do go on, Amelia.
Well, past a certain point, see, the brush completely changes and the trees become more of a tundra, and you see there's these animals, and she just goes into
Yeah.
a lecture
Oh, yeah.
about the.
Yeah, this is great stuff. Cora's making mental notes for her next alias.
Quarrel in the chat saying we do not.
Well, that's right.
Oh yes, no, I'm making up
Before the internet.
1930s facts of
Yeah,
that
Exactly,
Well,
this
she
is before
imagines
the
books
internet.
said.
We are,
Yeah. Apollo read this in a pamphlet.
yes.
I just like, you
After
guys just eat
whatever-
some time. That's like,
Yes, nothing that is stated on this channel should be taken as fact,
Role
except
play.
that in The Great Gatsby, except that women could drive in New York in the 1920s. And
Well,
We can find that out.
other than that,
Yeah.
So when we get back, I would say that I would ask Sam to please wake us up before Lady Kensington is expecting us by a good bit, so we have time to get ready. I haven't seen her since before I left England, actually.
I agree.
Okay.
Next
Um,
morning.
Yeah. Let's get over there.
Doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo, doo-doo.
All right.
What was the butler's name
Next
again?
morning, it is September 18th. You
Sam.
have arrived at Miss Kensington's building at 34 Sterling Manor and 5th Avenue.
And-
Apollo knows that she lives on the 3rd floor. She takes up the entire 3rd floor.
Of course.
And I am trying to remember the name of the butler.
Sam.
Sam.
Not our butler, her butler.
I don't have it noted here either, Steve.
Yeah, I don't think she told me his name.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But as the door opens, you are met by a grimacing butler. His face is cut and there's a sharp blue bruise growing on his left cheek. Right this way, he says impatiently and motions you ahead of him.
Is this the same guy I met a few days ago?
It is. Down the hall, Lady Kensington greets you with a distressed look.
Good Lord, what happened?
There's a problem with Jasper, she says. Someone has stolen Solomon's Scarab.
Was this the device that allowed him to make himself understood?
Oh, yes, just... she tears up a bit. Jasper has reverted to his more primal self.
I will...
Right this way.
I will turn to address the butler, actually. Were you harmed in the attempt to stop the intruders?
No, sir. I was asked to place Jasper back into his old cage, and it was quite difficult.
I see.
So he
Well.
truly is not himself.
In future, you may send for me. I have a way with animals. I spend quite some time around them.
That would be something to remember for the future. I haven't... please excuse me.
Of course. Yeah, then I will follow Lady Kensington. I want to...
You'll want a raw steak for that eye, my good man. Nice. Draws out the blood, you know.
I appreciate the information. I will disappear to the kitchen now. If you're here long enough, we will have tea. We will have tea in another hour or so.
Oh, I would love to have tea. I hope we're here long enough. All you Americans and your coffee.
Miss Kensington leads you to a door, and she looks to the three of you, and it's like, this was his study, and she pushes the door open. You are greeted by the screeching of a monkey, Jasper, who's a gray
He had his own
langur.
study?
Yeah.
Yes,
He
that
did
was
have his
going
own
to be my question as well.
I met him in
So-
your sitting room. He had his own study?
Yes, he did. Actually, it's
Mr.
quite
Joe?
amazing what the Scarab allowed him to do.
Was he able to read and write?
Please have a look at the room. There may be a clue as to who stole it.
What was
Yeah,
that
but
her
I-
ignoring the question, or did you not hear me, Mia?
I'm sorry, what did you ask?
I asked whether Jasper was able to read and write when he had the Scarab.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Again, you'd be amazed at what that stone allowed him to do. Inside...
I will.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I was going to say while Apollo and Lady Kensington are talking, I would like to go ahead and scope out the room, and if I may use my background as a jewel thief to work for advantage, or for what is this? It's a plus something on my roll if I can link it to my background. Let me see. It was Yes. So I'd like to request the +2 bonus because this is pretty directly related to my background.
Yeah, and you're just searching the area.
I am scoping out the room for any clues on how somebody could have gotten in here and stolen something off of a monkey.
So yeah, alertness to
Yeah.
do that.
It'll be an alertness roll plus my 2 bonus for my background.
While you
Ah,
roll that. What'd
yeah,
you
it was
roll?
terrible. Yeah, I rolled a 2, so that's going to be a 5.
Okay.
The room has been destroyed by a rampaging monkey. I got nothing.
I would also like to look at the room from the perspective of someone who's read an awful lot of mystery books and books about monkeys and various crime novels. Is there anything that stands out to me about the room?
Okay, have a look about as you roll that. Let me just read this here. Jasper, a gray langur, I think that's how it's pronounced, from Nepal, is clinging to the bars of his brass cage. And the once elegant room is now a mess of torn cushions with feathers and fluff everywhere. Books and papers litter the space, and its fanciful drapes have been ripped from their rods.
Goodness. If that's an alertness, that's a total of 18.
As you are searching about the room, kind of pushing papers and fluff out of the way with your feet, you stumble across a leather-bound journal that is tied shut with like a leather band.
Jasper, I do hope you don't mind if I read this. I'm going to untie it.
Miss Kensington has not entered the room. She stayed back. And the windowsill, Core, even though you didn't roll a great search, you are pretty sure someone had come in through the window.
Okay.
There's like a scuff mark there, like somebody's foot had scuffed the edge. And Apollo, upon examining Jasper, he's rattling the cage, and as you get closer, he kind of almost looks at you with a little bit of a recognition in his eye, but he's like screeching and is baring his teeth and rattling at the cage to escape. If you get a good close look at him, you see that that the fur on the back of his neck has been kind of like torn away, like whoever had taken it had like yanked it and had pulled a bunch of the fur around his neck out to get it off of him.
Indeed. My thoughts align with yours. There's a footstep on the windowsill here. It's no refinement to this job, just a simple smash and grab. Apparently, I overpowered the monkey. And I'll open the door and lean out. Lady Kensington, do you know approximately what time this might have occurred, or perhaps a window between when you last saw Jasper as himself versus when this was discovered?
Well, as a household, I turn in at like 9 o'clock. Jasper will often spend time in his study before turning in. I don't keep track of him at all times. But the butler said he heard the commotion around 10 o'clock, 10:30, I think. And we called Sam around 10:45. So it must have happened somewhere between 9:30 and 10. The commotion being that Jasper was destroying the room. It is said to give you the memories of the past wearers.
Oh, that's not good. Are there any
Why?
members of the other organizations that Amelia is aware of that are here in New York that might be looking for that sort of really valuable insider information to the Ivory Keys headquarters?
You'll want to. Are you asking Miss Kensington, Lady Kensington?
I suppose, yes, Miss Lady Kensington. Are there any known operatives from any of the other organizations that might perhaps be somewhere we should begin our search? If it passes the knowledge and well, I'm assuming Jasper knows quite a lot about the Ivory Keys.
She kind of like pauses for a second and is like, I don't know how much I should say, but you'll forgive me, but my husband and I were once members of the Azure Serpent. We left England just before the Great War to move here and to break away, as my husband had grown disenchanted with their doings, and they are not good, to say the least. This is true, Mr. Johnson. And again, I apologize for not telling you sooner, but we are reformed members of the Azure Serpents. They do have operatives here in the States. They call themselves the Sapphire Society.
Lady Kensington, I don't believe I was informed of this part of the orientation. Perhaps you can summarize for me what the Azure Serpent is?
Well, the organization dates back to ancient Egypt. An organization, a power class, if you would say, that wanted to rule over others, enslave others, and grow wealthy and powerful. In the modern world, you could say that they are mostly arms manufacturers and working behind the scenes to create trouble, to profit from the suffering of others.
I see. Yeah.
Amelia? Oh, sorry.
I think of many individuals. Oh, sorry, go ahead. You go ahead.
It may also be worth noting that the reason that I find myself upon your sunny shores here is that I came upon a book in my library that listed members of the organization, and for this, the man who was with me was murdered, and I was in a high-speed chase upon which I shot a gun for the first time and took a life. So this is rather an organization that does not like people to know they exist at all. Might be why she was a bit mum on it.
Quite.
They're rather ruthless that way.
Well, I suppose we should be grateful then that Jasper is still breathing.
Quite.
Yeah, this is so true. Amelia, the book. Did you say you were going to open it up and read it? I thought you had said that earlier.
Yeah, I asked Jasper in a sort of cheeky fashion that I figured he wouldn't mind me doing so at this point, and yeah, began unraveling to open and see. I don't know if he immediately reverted or if he had time maybe to scribble something or if he was working on something.
Okay. Let's back up to that real quick. While you're kind of like questioning Miss Kensington and Amelia's kind of thumbing through the book, as you open it up, the first few pages are barely legible scratches, but the handwriting improves quickly into an elegant script. And in it is his musings on the nature and his thoughts on the Solomon's Scarab. A powerful gem, quote, a powerful gem with ancient Egyptian origins, once known simply as the Wisdom Stone. And as you flip through the pages a little further, these dark premonitions and ancient prophecies rising from the depths of the Scarab haunt my thoughts and fill my heart with dread. I dare not share this with Isabella, whom I have memories of loving as William, Sir Kensington. It is difficult to discern whose memories are whose. There have been so many that have possessed the Scarab over the years. I know too much. The text continues without mention of the prophecies, but near the back are several pages, columns of letters and symbols and numbers. A possible code? And tucked away in the last page is an invitation dated September 20th, 8 p.m. The solstice. It is printed on fine white cardstock and has no address. Just two how do you say the plural of Ouroboros? Two Ouroboruses? Ouroboros, linked together like a chain, one in dark blue and the other in a lighter shade of blue. And again, today is the 18th, and the invitation is dated the 20th. Yes, that he did. Well, forgive an old lady for her clinging to her lost love, but Jasper was my husband's favorite pet. He was the only one that Jasper would behave for. And when William passed, I don't know what I was. I just placed the necklace around Jasper's neck, not thinking anything of it.
I missed him too. You wanted him to be close. I could see it making sense in grief. Once you'd done so, it would be monstrous to take it back.
Yes, I had no idea it would give Jasper the ability to speak in a way and write and read.
And as it mentions here, he didn't mention the memories. I'm going to show Cora the cipher to see if there's anything in there that might be something she could help me with at all with her abilities of... And we also have this invitation here, and I'm going to hand that to Apollo to see if he can make heads or tails of anything on it. I don't know what...
All right. I'm not sure.
Out of my element with invitations here, there's no address on it. I don't know. Is that normal for you Americans? Do you just expect people to know where you live?
Well, it would be. It would actually be typical. I do disagree with you, Mr. Johnson. If this is an invitation from a known friend, of course, you would need to write your address down again.
Oh, that makes sense, of course.
Mm-hmm.
The invitation is dated September 20th, 8 p.m.,
2 days.
which is the solstice. It is printed on fine cardstock. It has no address and just has two Ouroboros linked together like a chain. A blue serpent that is dark blue and a light blue serpent. And as you know, she told you earlier that there's an organization in town that calls themselves the Sapphire Society. And they work for the Azure Serpents.
So most likely it's from them.
Miss Kensington sees you hand the invitation to Apollo, and she looks to it and she's like, I know what that's for. They send me an invitation every year, and every year I decline. I will never set step in that building again. But I do miss the library, though. The Grand Celestial Hall on Sterling Avenue.
Grand Celestial Hall on Sterling Avenue.
And then
I'm so sorry, Mia. You said it
like
twice.
info dump time, right?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. You said Sterling Serpents? No, Sapphire Serpents?
The Sapphire Society.
Society. Sorry. Thank you.
They are an offshoot of the Azure Serpents.
Serpents. Got it.
And they invite you every year, trying to woo you back into their embrace, I'm assuming.
Building you are in is on
Sterling
34 Sterling, so it's quite a ways up from here. Yeah.
What part of New
You're on
York?
actually you're on Sterling
Manhattan?
Manor. Sterling Avenue is a different street. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, you're at 5th and Sterling Manor, and they're at Sterling Avenue, halfway across town, basically.
All right.
Sorry. Oh, that's confusing.
I will go ahead then and take a look at. I don't know that I would. Can I roll a communication for this cipher or manipulation?
Let's see.
I don't-
Communicate. Lore is for understanding dead languages, hieroglyphs, and historical facts. So maybe a lore check to
Ooh.
decipher that.
Yes, I have. Yes, I just wonder if it, because it's not a. It may be referencing a dead language, but I wonder if I can approach it from a modern communication, because I'd have seen ciphers. And,
Yeah, I'm gonna include that. I'm gonna lump that in for like code breaking into lore.
Yeah.
Since it's kind of a,
Could I offer to help
Okay.
with my knowledge of hieroglyphics to give her advantage on the roll?
yeah, because there are pictographs amongst the words and symbols, and pictograph symbols
Yes.
and letters.
I
and
have-
numbers.
All right, I will roll for lore then, and do I take advantage if the two of us are working together on this?
Yeah, go right ahead. Please do.
All right, first roll is an 8. Second roll is a 19. So
Hey.
I'll take that 19. Thank you. With Amelia's help.
You're able to like crack a bit of the cipher and pull out a few words. One of a series of words, the Tears of Tiamat. And the Scepter of Aten, Aten, Aten.
Scepter of Titan.
Are those
Oh,
myths
nice.
that would stand out to me as being potentially something that would apply to the situation, or
If you want to access your historical lore as a role separately,
I
Amelia,
would?
you might be
Now that
able
we
to
have those
discern-
names to look
you might
at.
you have those names.
And I do have an ability that I can spend my 1 P exclamation mark for an auto success in a lore roll. Do I have to not roll first if I want to do that, or if I fail the roll, can I choose to activate that?
Oh, you already have a pulp point. Okay.
I have one because of something, and I have a thing that lets me spend it, but I don't know if I have to call that I'm doing that before I roll or not. I figured I should ask.
I would have to have you roll for each name that I gave you. So whichever, if you want to like auto success one and then roll for the second.
Well, I don't know if I want to auto success either, or I just wasn't sure if I failed, if I could then say, can I auto success after the fail?
I would say spend it first. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to roll for Tears of
I forget
Tiamat. Let's
that
see
works.
what
I'm trying to remember the pulp point.
ooh,
I had read
9
that
for
and
Tears of Tiamat. I don't think I know what that is, so I'm going to auto success the Scepter of Aten.
The Scepter of Aten. You had read in a book, again, kind of like a specialization in archaeology and anthropology because of your connection with that one professor who had asked you for the Anubis statuette. The Scepter of Aten is a radiant scepter made of a mysterious glowing crystal.
Okay.
It is reputed to have been once wielded by the Egyptian sun god Aten, like Akhenaten.
I believe we have a Scepter of Aten back in the townhouse, Cora.
Is that what that is? How
Perhaps the Tears of
exciting.
Tiamat might be referencing those goggles.
Perhaps. I would like to do a lore roll for the Tears of Tiamat, because as Cora Montesquieu, it's been my experience that the tears of something typically refer to tear-shaped or pear-cut
Gems.
gems and jewels. So I'd like to do a roll for that. And if
Yeah,
they are... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
It'll be difficult. So,
Okay.
so
If
yeah,
they
looking
are
for like a 14 or
jewels.
higher. Yeah.
Okay. If they are jewels, I'd like to call for a +2. So I'll leave it to you. I'll tell you my roll. My roll is a 15. And now I'm doing the rolls. And if they are jewels, I will I'd request with my background that the +2 bonus to that. But that's up to you what I know on a 15.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. not sure how to explain how you would have heard of these. Maybe you had picked up a book somewhere, or you overheard some people discussing it in the
Of course,
criminal
always got her
circles.
ear to the ground when it
Yeah.
comes to duels, but and valuables.
The Tears of Tiamat, a set of ancient gemstones said to be the crystallized tears of the Mesopotamian goddess Tiamat, who embodied chaos and creation.
That is exactly the kind of thing Cora would have heard of.
Exactly.
I don't know
what
about all these crazy
artifacts do?
scepters of Aton, but they get sparkly. I'm all ears.
But that's only a small portion of the cipher that you were able to figure out at this time.
And the invitation was tucked in here, which means potentially this was last year's invitation, and this was information that was picked up from the other side.
The 20th of this year, 1935, is the solstice. Miss Eddington, I apologize. Miss Kensington explains that they have a masquerade ball, an annual masquerade ball on the solstice of every year, on the fall solstice. So, on the 20th,
I feel like going to a party.
It'll be a party.
Just going to say the same thing in Spanish.
Mr. Johnson, do you have any masks you like wearing particularly?
Well, of course not. I'm an upstanding citizen.
Even in the circus, you never became flamboyant?
I'm fairly flamboyant in the circus, but my thing is wearing fewer clothes than most people.
Oh, that would cause
That can
quite a
probably
sensation.
be arranged.
Like, ooh.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I think we have a pretty clear direction. Yes, and Ms. Cora is very entertained that the Tears of Tiamat are real. All right.
Mythical gemstones that we might get to steal? I mean, see?
Quite. I will ask Lady Kensington if for any information she can give us about the Sapphire Society and about the Grand Celestial Hall, if she has any information or suggestion on how we can crash this party or the best way we can crash this party and just get from her a layout, anything she knows about the layout of this location, security protocols. And and you don't have to go into detail, but I can just take it as kind of a download.
Yeah, as the invitation will allow conveniently, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, will allow for 2 people to attend with 1 attendant. So basically, like 2 rich people and their butler, or house lady,
Bodyguard.
Bodyguard.
Lady's maid.
That's true. You two could be a couple and I could be your attendant. There's all sorts of
I was
options.
thinking the opposite. I was thinking
We
you
could be
two
the couple and you
could
could be the attendant, and then you could slip away more easily into the crowd while we're distracted.
Indeed. It is we can discuss, but yes, there's many opportunities here.
And she explains that the
And Rod, you can wait
celestial.
in the car.
Apologies. The Grand Celestial Hall is a large building. It has many nooks and crannies within. The main floor consists of like the ballroom, a bar, and some meeting rooms. But there is a labyrinth of tunnels beneath the facility. The library is on the same level as the dance hall.
I appreciate you ladies doing your best to come up with a plan that doesn't make me the servant again. But I must point out, or perhaps reveal, that not 2 weeks previous to now, I was involved in the capture of a member of the Azure Serpents. It is not impossible that someone at this location will know my face. It is indeed on posters in the place where this happened. So perhaps it's best if I be the person in the back yet again.
You don't think a mask will sufficiently disguise your... I suppose you are rather noticeably physiqued, aren't you?
I'm certainly not going to shave the mustache.
You would never ask such a sacrifice of you, Mr. Johnson.
It's all the hair I have left above the neck.
No,
Indeed,
indeed.
I
But if we
was-
get you some sort of lion or something that comes all the way round, really just...
I was thinking the same, Mr. Johnson. It's been my experience that the flashier and more distinct a persona one cuts, the easier it is, in fact, to pass unnoticed when one adopts a different persona. You may actually...
I have found the same, but there is a second reason.
Yes.
I'm not very good at talking to rich people.
And that is also quite fair.
I'm better at talking to regular people. I don't think I could pass.
All right. Well, it seems, Apollo, you have very strong feelings on the matter. I myself am comfortable in either role, as guest or as attendant. If you feel very strongly on the matter, I think then, for myself, I think it. I do not mind bowing to your preference in this matter, of course.
Well, it's not my preference. I'm swallowing my pride to say it, but to be honest, I don't think that my pride is worth the success of the mission. I would put my foot in my mouth more likely than not.
If you're willing to abandon your pride and wear a little less, perhaps we play that up in our masquerade costume and you wear very little except your mask and go as my boy toy and say very little.
Amelia!
It's a masquerade. They won't know who we are. He would be very distracting and not put a loincloth and a tiger mask, and myself in perhaps some sort of Amazonian queen design. We could cut quite a swath.
Amelia, I've said it before and I'll say it again. You are wasted in academia.
Indeed. And also, it is a masquerade party for people who desire domination of other people. So perhaps this is what they would find admirable.
I brought a pet and an attendant. I might be the belle of the ball.
All right, I say we go with Amelia's weird plan.
The butler is like standing in the as you're discussing this over tea and Mrs.
We did get to stay for Lady Kensington's tea.
Miss Kensington's tea, and she's like, well, yes, I can definitely arrange for the costumes that you want.
And Lady Kensington's like, oh yes, this is completely normal for the surface society, society. Yes, this is great idea.
There will be many people on leashes and chains. Yes.
I had not thought of that additional accessory, but I like the way you think.
All right. And Corey's sitting over here going, what the hell have I gotten myself into?
As is Apollo.
I was the risque one.
Amelia has read far too many books and not enough practical experience and is basing her, Edgar Rice Burroughs and yeah.
Apollo has no qualms about going around in his trunks. Obviously, he does it in front of people for a living. But he was raised to be like polite and respectful, and he's not 100% sure that this is that. So we will see.
Amelia, I love it, and we shall do it exactly as you say. Now, shall we go break into a gangster's office, or shall we go?
Let's.
We don't. Hold on one second. We haven't discussed what this means in terms of the incidents of the last 24 hours. You say that this is the Scepter of Aton that we have. How has it come to pass from the Sapphire Societies, or from, I beg your pardon, from Jasper's notes into a common gangster's hand?
It was a distraction. They hit while the monkey was being stolen from. It was the sound of him destroying the room they heard, not the thievery. I'm sure it took a moment for him to regress. They hit us in order to ensure we were not here. We barely had arrived home when Sam was called. It was a distraction. We don't need to hit the office of the thug. He's a tool.
Do you think they knew we were there and that this was directed at us? Are our identities
This sort of
all
powerful
known?
device in the hands of a thug like that? You yourself said it was highly unlikely. Happening at exactly the same time as our poor Jasper was attacked? That's an awfully big coincidence.
I don't disagree with you, Amelia, but I find that very disturbing. I had thought we had some form of anonymity.
You guys are seeing conspiracies.
We are.
I do agree.
Holding a
It's
dollar bill.
Right? Oh, look, the building's on fire. Yeah.
you're very much more experienced in these things than I am, Amelia. I don't know that I'm entirely convinced. I did not get at all the sensation during that event. I have targeted and been the target of such shake and grab operations before, and I just didn't feel that was directed at us. It is an odd coincidence.
Well, perhaps
It might have been us specifically, but just that it was noisy and distracting.
That it was. I agree with you entirely on that front.
Here is the real question.
Yes.
Do we take Jasper with us? I'm sure he'd like a crack at his attackers.
Absolutely not, Apollo.
That's what I thought too. I just wanted to run it by you guys.
Unless you are volunteering to be on monkey duty, I really don't. They say, my friends in Hollywood tell me, never work with children, never work with animals. And I've really have never gone, can't say that anything I've experienced in my life has disagreed with that advice.
Well,
if we could guarantee everyone in the room was bad, I could say absolutely let him go ape in there, but we can't guarantee that.
I can offer you some advice, Cora.
Indeed.
People in Hollywood are wimps. Mm-hmm. Where I come from, you work with children and animals all day, every day. And you put on a show. Sometimes 3.
Mr. Johnson, I actually agree with you entirely on this matter.
This doesn't mean we're bringing Jasper with us, does it?
I agree entirely with you on the moral fiber of the individuals I have met in the movie industry. I still say no to bringing the monkey with us.
It will be mostly monkey duty, literally duty.
Yes.
Jasper,
everywhere.
When we get it, we'll bring it back to you here.
Oh, excuse
me.
me.
Be patient. Thanks, Jasper.
Although I must say, based on what was at the end of the book, he might not want it back. He did seem to know a painful amount.
Well, he certainly doesn't seem very happy now.
Yeah, he looks pissed off. I mean, excuse me, he's bothered, upset.
But she said that he was like everyone except
Mr.
for
Johnson.
her dead husband.
She said what? I'm so sorry, Amelia.
He was that way with everyone except her dead husband.
Yes.
So he's just regressed to type. Knowing that he knew too much and there were these terrible premonitions and he had the business card in the book and the cipher, perhaps he called them to the window and gave it to them? They didn't hear anything until he regressed. They didn't hear them take it. They heard him after he was...
And yet there is the fur torn out on the back of his neck. A small line of blood where this chain was clearly ripped from him.
Did it attach to him, though? He may have had to rip it. It just... I will be very interested to see what we find. I'm...
The same.
I'll tell you what, if we get the stone back, we can give it to Jasper and ask him what happened.
And if he doesn't wish to wear it, we'll take it back and put it on someone else.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Well, I'd better go change.
We have 2 days. All right.
To the masquerade ball. Okay.
Yes.
And save Bobby Knucklenose for another day. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we don't need to, because what we wanted was some hint where he got it from, and we found a better lead already.
Okay.
Of course.
So he may follow up with us another day, as we did leave him
Yeah,
contact
I'm
information.
sure Knuckle Nose is coming, but we'll let him come to us.
So yeah, 2 days pass. You have a couple days to rest and prepare for the ball. Finalize your plans. Get Apollo's feeling comfortable in his role as a leashed lion, I guess.
Unless he comes up with an animal he would prefer. It's the only animal I know of from the circus, really.
I
off the
think
top of my head.
I will decline the leash. I'll just walk behind you.
That would make more sense.
Yes.
More powerful if I don't actually have to leash you.
Yes.
Okay.
Plus, if I am needed in action, I don't want to have a chain around my neck.
Yes.
No, indeed.
Right.
Okay.
In fact, could we manage to sharpen the edges of the mask so that you could, in fact, use it as potentially some sort of disc?
Oh,
Flying
I
guillotine.
prefer bludgeoning to stabbing. It's
Never mind then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll leap ahead to the 20th of the 1935, the solstice. You arrive at the Grand Celestial Hall. You are in a line of cars waiting to be let out by valet. The hall itself is an opulent building, a blend of neo-Gothic and Art Deco design. Guests again are arriving in luxurious automobiles, elegantly dressed men and women stepping out onto the red carpet. As you arrive and climb out of your car and the valet takes it from you and you make your way up the steps, there are numerous photographers and reporters shouting, look this way, and flash bulbs are going off and taking pictures of the elaborately dressed crowd. As you step inside, the inside is an intricate, it consists of intricately designed stained glass windows and elaborate chandeliers. The grandiose ballroom resounds with the rhythms of swing and the foxtrot. Couples dance across the polished floor to strains of Duke Ellington, Benny Goodman. The Charleston and the tango are also to be found playing in this delightful contrast.
All at once.
All this is, well, over the course of the night that will be taking place. But so you enter the room. There is a small bar off to the side and large groups of people dancing and many others sitting at various tables that surround the ballroom floor. What would you like to do?
Rawr.
Well, let's see. Strategically, we probably should circle so that Cora can get to the stairs and slip
Indeed.
away somehow. So let's head to the bar and get drinks and then mingle in the direction of the stairs to give her cover to move.
There should be, I'm sure, a room for the servants to gather, where the servants are not, crossing they're discreetly to the side.
Indeed.
Perhaps I can. Perhaps we can all embark on our individual explorations, and this would be a conversation in the car. I can see what I can find in the servants' side of the house. You can see what you can get into that library, or how far in you can get, and we can meet up after an hour, shall we say?
Sounds good. Where do we wish to meet? Somewhere in a secluded area we can talk, or in the middle of the floor where we can speak coded?
I think in the back where the gardens are.
Gardens.
Yes.
Marvelous.
Mia, before we separate from each other and let Cora sneak off up a staircase, I would like to roll to see if anybody is looking at us or specifically watching us.
Okay.
I do have in my background that I do bodyguard work, so perhaps I could have a +2 to that.
Yes, that'd be great. Amelia, question: how masked up are you? Do you have like a mask or just fancy?
Yeah, something that's full mask but lets my mouth open so that I can imbibe in beverages. I figure the wealthy don't want to not party.
Okay.
But I also don't want to be recognizable, if avoidable.
Okay, I've got a 19 on the die, +1 for alertness, +2 for my background.
Oh,
So
goodness.
22. Yeah, that's the first good roll I've had. First great.
I would say there are a number of people that do look your way a little bit. You do tend to tower over most of the guests, Mr. Johnson.
Well, I would specifically be looking for people that are watching the ladies and not just me because I'm big.
No, most people are like take long, lingering glances at you. A lot of the ladies in the room have done so,
Okay.
and most of the others are less than interested in paying attention to anyone other than who they are immediately in front of. It looks like.
Yeah. As
But
a
you,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
but you do notice that there is a small crowd of men gathered around one woman over in the corner of the room. And she seems to be drawing more attention than most in the room.
Can I get any sense of why that is? Is she just attractive, or is there something else going on?
From here, she's speaking flamboyantly. Their hands are flailing about, and most of the men are standing around. You can see they're laughing at what she might be saying, but she is too far away to get any gist of what, if anything, is special about her.
I will make Amelia aware of it so that maybe she can lead us on a circuit around the room towards that area.
Yes, let's go mingle and find out who she is. Subtly.
Yes.
Subtly. As you are making your way around the room, you overhear various people talking. I was like, oh, can you believe the auction will be in 2 days? And then you move a little further down and someone is like, yes, the plane will be taking the cargo out tomorrow morning at dawn. You move a little further down, it's like, oh, yes, we have booked passage out of town on the Zeppelin this evening.
Zeppelin.
And Cora, you are making your way up the stairs or off to where the servants, the attendants are at. Most of them are like basically sitting in a room with comfy couches and various, they've got like a small bar of their own, and they're all just kind of talking amongst themselves when you enter the room.
Very good. I will go ahead and do a, well, I guess I will grab a drink, because one always is more friendly to someone with a drink in their hand. I will not be drinking that drink, just something to hold. And I'm going to do a little mini circuit myself, and just, do the sort of like nod, hello, hello. Question: am I and are the other servants masked as well?
They've got very unelaborate masks, basically just like the black kind of mask, or as a lady, you might be holding like a mask on a stick to conceal your face, or unless you've got like one tied around. Yeah,
I'd assume that anybody who's there as an attendant would have it tight. So gotta have both hands free.
They're basically just dressed in their normal clothing, but with just a mask to conceal their face, just their eyes. Yeah.
All right, I will. Yes, I will find a. As I sort of circulate through the room, do I pick up anybody complaining about? Oh, I've got to get everything ready in just 2 days, or anything I will pick up as well on the rumor front.
Two men over in the corner are kind of quietly talking amongst themselves, and if you get close enough, you can overhear certain words. They're also speaking about a shipment of things that will be going out of the country. Yes. My master has planned for that crate to leave in the morning. Yes, I cannot believe that they have acquired what they were seeking so quickly. There's another woman in the room who comes over to you and is like, "Oh, you're new. I've not seen you here before."
Oh, yes, indeed. Very. My goodness, this is so kind of them to provide this. I've certainly never been to an event like this that is so generous with their servants' hall. Yes. I'm Daisy. Hello, Daisy Johnson.
Nice to meet you. I am Sarah, pardon me, Sarah. Like,
What a familiar
I should
name.
say, my name is Seraphine. How about that, or something like that? It's nice to meet you. Yes, this is the one party a year where we are allowed to indulge ourselves. Who knows what happens? Most nights, our bosses, for lack of a better term, don't even leave. There are rumors that they congregate to a space below the dance hall, and the rumors I've heard.
Ah, well, if you've honestly, this is well, certainly I've seen some quite interesting things since I've gone into service for my lady. But my goodness, certainly can't argue with the wages. They are quite generous, and it's always lovely to serve people who are so very successful, as you know. One never worries when one's next paycheck is coming.
Yes, it is nice to be in service of someone with so much money. Okay, I live a lavish life, even though I do work hard.
Indeed, there's the perks. Got to get those perquisites. Oh my goodness. Tell me, is there? I don't mean to be. If I need to find something very quickly, would you be so kind to give me the lay of the land? Anywhere that I should go if my lady needs some quick sewing on her costume might be required. If I need to, I know she'll gravitate towards that library eventually. Where would I find that? Any particular places that I should be aware of that the people tend to congregate in?
Well, there is the coat room. If ever you
Yeah.
need to stitch up your lady's costume, it's
Mhm.
quite large for a coat room. In fact, there's a fitting room and such where
Oh, that
people
is
can actually change clothes. As for the library, I've never been in the library myself. I know that during the ball, they station guards outside and will not allow anyone admittance.
Oh, well, God help them when my lady shows up. That'll be amusing. And can I ask, and I don't mean to get you into trouble. I know that they get very sensitive about these things. How does one get down to that, to the ceremony? I'm sure that, it's very hush hush, very secret, but at what point does that happen? When should I expect everybody to go missing?
Um, I, I can't say for sure. I mean, people, from what I understand, come and go from that part of the festivities.
Mhm.
We as attendants are not allowed to
Of course.
travel below the first floor. The basement is strictly off limits.
Absolutely understood. Thank you for those helpful tips, lay of the land. Um, I am going to take a quick swing through and just check and make sure everything's all right. Thank you again, Sarah. You've been so very kind. And I will go ahead and make my exit, and I am going to stride off with perfect confidence in the wrong direction, deeper into the house, and see if anyone stops me.
Be sneaky. Roll a stealth, and we'll cut back to Apollo and Amelia
Yes, thank you.
as you make your way into the depths.
Oh, that's terrible. That's going to be a 7.
All right.
Unless you'd like to say that this does play into my background as a experienced thief, in which case it's a robust 9.
Okay. Well, we'll get back to that.
Yes, we can resolve that later. This is probably not going to go very well.
As Apollo and Amelia make their way around the crowd and have overheard these various conversations, you don't want to make a beeline straight to them, so you kind of zigzag your way through, overhear the various things that I had mentioned. But as you get closer, Amelia, the voice of this woman sounds familiar to you. As you step closer, you see the cascading blonde hair on this person's shoulders, and you realize that it is Lacey Monroe.
Oh
Are you
my.
Lacey Monroe?
Shh. I need to think for a moment as to whether or not I want her to know that it's me,
Yeah,
because
the
she
well-known
knows that they're
English
me.
socialite. Yeah.
Ah,
We came over on the boat together. She's I actually have an invitation to visit her upstate in New York. She doesn't know I'm a member of the other organization. We'll be fine. Yes, we'll play this off. Come right with me, Mr. Johnson. Butch. Lacey. I will call out to her because I'm sure she'll recognize my voice. We spent some time together.
This crowd of men all kind of like pause, and they're like fawning over her and laughing at her jokes, and she falls quiet, and they all turn to look at you, and she peers through, trying to peek through their shoulders, and she's like, Amelia, is that you?
Darling, it's been too long. I thought you were upstate.
Oh, but I came here for the festival, for the ball.
I had no
I could
idea
not
you'd
resist.
be here.
You know,
Fair kiss.
someone of my stature in England is welcome here. You know?
I should have assumed you would be here, of course.
Do you have any idea what this place is all about, though? I mean, I received the invitation anonymously. It's like, I don't know why I was invited, other than that I am connected to the upper crust of England.
Yes, indeed, that my understanding is that is indeed why I was invited as well. Those of us who recently arrived and are known to be connected seem to be desirable contacts for whoever this house belongs to. I'm so good to have a friend here.
Oh yes, it is so nice to see you. I really don't know what to say. Your man? Who is this handsome man that you are with?
Oh, indeed,
Although I
I
cannot see
picked
his
up.
face.
Well, I suppose one does not really need to, as we discussed a bit on the boat, you'll remember. But this is Butch. I picked him up at the local circus. And in fact, it does seem you're having a marvelous time here with your friends. I do think that Butch and I will find our own company and leave you to yours. Lovely seeing you, darling.
Absolutely, absolutely. Please have a good night. And by all means, and I wish you well. Just be safe, because I have no idea what these people are all about.
Same to you. Definitely eyes up, just in case.
Thank you. It was nice meeting you, Butch.
yeah, before I turn and walk away, I'll just look at her and then look her up and down and then walk away.
All the men that see you do that just kind of roll their eyes, very, and go back to talking with Lacey Monroe.
That's good. It makes them all take me less seriously,
Yes.
as if they needed to.
I'm trying my very hardest to get them to underestimate you. It helps when the time comes to punch them. So I fill you in briefly that, yeah, she's just very rich, well-traveled in the English circles, mover and shaker. Interesting that they included her, because we don't know about downstairs.
It's interesting that her invitation apparently had an address on it. She doesn't know where she
Very
is.
good point. That's a very good point.
They must be trying to recruit her.
That's quite possible. Well,
You
shall we
invite
try
her.
and circle to...
Oh,
Sorry?
you invite a rich person to a party, you're already on their good side.
Generally speaking. Do we wish to try and find that, the library or some sort of study or office, someplace where they might have something squirreled away, paperwork, something?
Indeed.
Or is it time yet? We've been circling a while. We should probably head to the garden first and meet up with Cora.
Do we hear anything happening to Cora within earshot?
Yeah, let's go back to that. Cora, where were you trying to make your way to? Again, you going upstairs or trying to find the library? I forget what you said.
Well, I know that there's guards on the library, so I'm going to leave that to Amelia. She's better suited than me to try to figure out what's going in there. I'm going to try to make my way upstairs, yes, towards the private rooms because this is not a private household. This is a public meeting place, correct?
it's
Nobody
think like
lives here.
think like a really big Masonic hall kind of place. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
All right, actually, the first thing I'm going to do, because I'm going to take this opportunity to try to make it up the stairs, and just to check out what's going on upstairs. Uh, and I have a backup location if I'm stopped, and a story ready to go.
To say, as you're going up the stairs and you're trying to be stealthy, looking about, making sure everything's okay, as you reach the top stair, it squeaks loudly under your foot. Even though there is the soft sound of music everywhere filling the hall and the empty spaces, somebody just around the corner like pops their head around and is like, "Oh, you shouldn't be up here."
Oh, I do beg your pardon, sir. I'm sorry. What did you? Sorry, Mia. What do you said this was? Is this a guard, a servant, a guest?
It's hard to tell. He does not have a mask on. But again, he just pokes his head around and says, "You shouldn't be up here."
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm looking for. Well, I beg your pardon. I'm looking for the servants' restroom.
Oh, you are quite lost. You'll have to go back down the stairs,
Yes.
return to the servants' area, and it
Yes.
is just down the hall to the left.
Thank you so much, sir. As I turn, I do want to, as I'm doing my little curtsy, I do want to kind of step a little closer and try to get a look at this person to see if they are deliberately guarding this staircase or if they just happen to be working up here. Kind of get a glimpse past him into the room he's in and try to get a sense of who this is and what they're doing up here, basically. Would that be alert?
I would say he's actually, you see, once he gets up and he was sitting on a chair just around the corner at the top of the stairs into the hallway. So yeah, he's just guarding the space to prevent anyone from coming up there.
Okay.
But he's not being obvious about it so that he can, catch people in the act of trying to be sneaky. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I will.
We're not the only ones trying this tonight.
Well, I'll give him a little curtsy and smile and trot off down the stairs. And I'm heading to the fitting room, that mysteriously large fitting room outside the where people can change their clothes. And this is definitely somewhere where I do belong. I imagine that there are other people with their attendants getting ready, and I would like to bustle in like I'm looking for. Oh, gotta find my lady. Where is she? Where did she go? And I am looking for a hidden entrance down to the basement. I have my suspicions about what kind of place would require a room for people to change their clothing in, especially if they're, going to be running off and having rituals in the basement.
You will need to search the area extensively, and there are a lot of people about. Various, there's one door of the fitting rooms that is closed and locked. But as you look under, there's only a small gap of about that big. But all the others have the door shut. You can see people's shadows moving about under the edges of those doors, but there's nobody in that room itself. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. All right. With that, then, I will finish my circuit and bustle off like I've done my chores, and I'm off to the garden to go meet with these two. Didn't get a lot of info, but that's all right. Got a little bit of something.
As you exit into the garden terrace, there are a variety of people just kind of hanging out there as well. And I assume maybe Apollo and Amelia have arrived before you, Cora. Sure. Did that quick little surveillance in the fitting room. So, yes.
All right. Yep. I'll drop in next to you and be pretending to adjust something and quickly fill you in on just little bits of info I've picked up that there is a basement room where people do rituals we already knew. I suspect the fitting room, there's a door. There is a guard on the stairs, and if you haven't tried the library yet, I will tell you that the library is heavily guarded and to repel intruders.
I pass back there's definitely a shipment going out tomorrow morning by crate. There's people leaving tonight by Zeppelin. They were very pleased to have gotten something awfully quickly. I'm pretty sure we're talking about the something that we are talking about here that I won't mention aloud. Perhaps we should tootle off and adjust our costumes. Should we rip something on Butch that you need to fix that we could?
There's not enough on Butch to be ripping.
Oh, be imaginative, I say.
No!
If it's my costume we're fixing, there's no reason to bring you with.
The library has, from what you know, has 2 guards that stand watch over the door.
Well, at the moment,
We could try for that instead.
we can reduce that number.
We can also, there's only one guard on the stairs upstairs. If there is, that is also a place we might be able to, if we're ready, if we're prepared to go loud, as they say, we can certainly, I think that the 3 of us could take him.
Well, at this point, what we need to find is shipment location, where the boat leaves from, something to tell us how to find the crate. That could be in the library, that could be in the private quarters. I suppose we don't really need to get into the ritual space other than to find out, just curiosity's sake, what they're doing tonight. Unless they're all down there looking at it, if it's a show and tell thing.
I could...
Or if it's being used in the ritual.
I could remove the mask, maybe change to some other mask, and do a show? Distraction?
That does seem risky if the entire point of your disguise is to avoid linking you to Apollo Johnson, the strongman. It's like a strongman.
You're right about that.
Though we did guarantee with your costume that changing the mask and throwing a cloak on you, no one will know you're the person who came in with me.
That's
That is true.
I can. I do believe, based on my access to the fitting room, that I could very easily snag you somebody's coat and hat. That should not be an issue, though it might be a challenge to find. It would probably be one a little tight on you.
Yes, I think let's not roll those dice. I think that the knocking out the guards plan is probably best.
To the library.
The
or
library?
To the upstairs?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, the library.
Okay.
Let's go to the library.
I will reach into the invisible pocket that we all have and pull out my crowbar.
Well, before we do that, perhaps, Mr. Johnson, you will allow me to soften them up a bit for you. And I'm going to pull out my
You're going to
flask.
do what?
I'm going to...
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you this. I've met some men where that will only make them harder.
Not what's in my flask.
By all means.
And at the very least, I can provide a distraction. I trust you will bail me out if it all goes sideways.
We'll wait around the corner with an ear out.
Yes. Great. Then I will go ahead and we'll converge on the library, and I will go ahead and try to. As I approach, I change my gait. Put a little hitch in my step, stagger a little, giggling a bit, and come around the corner. And as I do, and I take in these guards, what exactly do I see? Is my information accurate? Are there actually 2 guards stationed outside of the library door?
Yeah, there are 2 large locked ornate double doors that lead into the library. On either side of those doors is a guard of average height for this era. So probably about 5'9", 5'10". Not very big, just kind of standing there, talking back and forth to themselves. As you round the corner, you're like, can't believe we're on guard duty tonight when all the fun is taking place elsewhere.
So I will stagger around the corner, and I beg your pardon. John, excuse me. And try to like very poorly hide the flask that I'm holding. Like, I'm so sorry. This is so embarrassing. I trust you will please stay discreet. I'm so sorry, my brother. I know this is a wild party, but I don't really need my mistress to know. Excuse me.
They look to each other like, okay. Ma'am, are you okay?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm so sorry. I can't hold my liquor tonight, I suppose. Oh, sorry. I'm going to try to make a show of kind of pulling myself together, pull out my handkerchief, sort of give myself a pat down. Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you? Oh dear, you are stuck on guard duty tonight. That's such a shame. Perhaps I can offer you gentlemen a sip. I'll offer them the flask.
They both kind of like look to each other, and one guy reaches out and he like takes a sip. It's got an interesting taste. Hands it to the other guy, sniffs it a bit. I don't know how fast that stuff acts, but sniffs it, takes a little. It's pretty good. Takes another quick sip and hands it back to you.
Thank you. Bottoms up indeed. So how long have you gentlemen working here? And I'm going to try. I'd like to roll a communication check to see if I can engage them and get them to drink a second time, because the way that this works, as I proposed it to you, is if they take one shot, it will put them into a light doze within a few minutes. If I can get them to take a second shot, it will knock them out within 60 seconds.
The first guy took one, the second guy took two, so...
All right. Well, I just want to start chatting with the other guy. I'm like, and I keep my lips closed and pretend to sip. Like, oh.
Okay. Yeah, no need to roll at all. He's like, he takes it willingly and takes a quick shot, and then he hits it pretty hard. And then as he's like handing it back, his buddy's like shlunk. He looks over just as he's handing the flask to you, and you know.
Can we say that I came out of nowhere and caught each of them before they hit the ground?
Yeah, as I say, you're like watching from around the corner, and you see that first guy slump back against the wall and start to slide down.
Yeah.
And as you come around Apollo, this other guy, he's like, what? And then he's as he's going down. So
yes, they're going down silently. I don't want them to.
And they're gonna wake up and say, "We were attacked by a lion."
Yeah.
So that is So that's 4 shots out of 5 gone. I've only got 1 dose left in the flask, but well spent. I'm like, just can't get good help these days.
So Apollo's standing there with one man under each arm, and there's a locked double door there.
Your skills extend towards lock picking.
They certainly do. I switch my flask for my cigarette case and flick out those lock picks. I really picked the right equipment to bring tonight.
Indeed.
All right. This is going to be manipulation.
Yes. Excuse me.
All right.
Apologies. I keep looking at the clock. It's like, I know it's getting to be that normal end time, but you guys are...
I rolled a 16, so I rolled a 16 with my bonus. Not even including my bonuses for this being my thing.
Takes a moment.
Mia, if I could, let me ask you, would you rather go late tonight, or would you rather schedule a second session?
It's up to you. I'm okay going a little later. I'd say maybe another 15, 20 minutes.
It's okay with me.
Half hour at most.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Let's do that.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay.
Though a second session would also be awfully fun as well.
Well,
there'll be a second session anyway, but will it be the same story is the question.
Yeah. If we finish what I prepared tonight, okay. Let's just carry on. You manipulate the door. We'll go another. We'll play it to the end. and you pop the lock, and the door opens slowly.
I would like to drag the men inside the door, but
Yep.
as I do so, make sure I'm looking around for whoever's in here already.
Yes, I'd like to
Upon
step in right behind him and sort of looking around his shoulder to make sure that if someone is watching us, we know.
Do a quick alertness check to look about the room. But as you enter, your footsteps echo softly on the polished marble floor. A warm glow from the delicate chandeliers bathes the embodiment of refined grandeur. A room full of towering bookshelves with celestial motifs adorn their mahogany surfaces.
My
11.
Amelia is like in heaven. Okay.
My alertness roll is 12.
Oh, you beat me. Mine was an 11. I'm distracted. This is just too pretty.
As you look around, you don't see anybody.
I will close the doors behind us.
Okay, you close the doors.
Very quick.
As you if you like sweep the room with your eyes and take a look, you see that at the back of the room there is a spiral staircase that leads up to a walkway above the library. In the center of the room, atop an intricately designed pedestal, lies a large book. Its leather-bound cover is worn with age, and an ornate lock securing it shut, glimmers invitingly.
How
Well,
big
that
of a
screams
lock?
trap, but I want to touch it.
It's a stout lock. It's not delicate or any sort of thing. It's a pretty stout lock. But it's something, Apollo, you could probably break it with your hand, but that would damage, it would require damaging the book if you were trying to rip it off.
Well,
Do
shall
we
I
think
take
that the
another
book
crack at it?
itself? Do we think that the book itself or the pedestal it's on is trapped?
Most likely. Do we think that the information we're looking for is in the book, or do we think the book is just very tasty? Is there also a desk anywhere in the room? Do I see where there might be paperwork or ledgers?
There are desks and nothing out on any of the desks, just the shelves with the books and the ledgers, if there are any, would be on the shelves.
Something doesn't make sense here. The chandelier was lit, the door was locked, there were guards outside. Where are the people? Who's supposed to be in here that we're not seeing?
Let's look for secret passages. You said there was a secret passage somehow to get to the basement. Maybe it's from the second floor. That would be unexpected.
Well, we're on the first floor, right? You said the library and the dance hall
It
were
is on the first floor, yeah.
Let's search
first
for
floor.
secret passages. I start touching statues and pulling books that seem out of place
Yeah,
or
I'm just pulling
weirdly
every book
labeled.
one by one, systematically. Every book. I'm
yeah,
not
I
turning
will.
chandeliers that's gone bad or turning candelabras that's gone bad for me before.
Well, let's see. That would be alertness, spotting, listening, and searching. Yeah.
Okay.
And I am looking for valuable objects that are
Yeah,
loose.
that book looks really tasty on the
Oh,
as
yeah.
Amelia said.
But I have been around. I'm new to the Ivory Key, but I've been around long enough not to go straight for the obviously cursed object.
Even if it's real pretty.
Yeah, we haven't talked about my backstory, but I'm pretty sure that's how I got mixed up in all this in the first place. But yes, I'm looking for things that are valuable and perhaps a little less guarded. So alert rolls all around.
Yeah, mine is 17.
Oh, you beat me again. I was so happy with my 15.
Yeah, mine's an
Apollo-
8. There is nothing in this room of interest, Cora.
Apollo's used to people assuming he's dumb because of his size, but he's well read. He knows how to watch out.
That systematic approach was useful.
Yeah.
As you are searching through the area, Apollo, you eventually come across there's a stone bust on one of the shelves, and you kind of give it a twist, and the library shelf kind of pops away from the wall just a little bit on a heavy hinge. Amelia,
Oh,
as you are also searching through the area, you do find some ledgers that list various objects and artifacts and prices that they were sold for. There are no names as to who the items are sold to, though. Just the prices that they were for. There are some symbols, some you recognize that match the ones before, and some that just don't have symbols at all.
Excellent.
And I'm
I'll
sorry,
make a quick
Cora.
mental note.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Cora, you rolled what for your alert?
I rolled a 9.
A 9?
No, I'm sorry, an 8.
An 8?
Yeah.
Um,
I don't imagine they keep a lot of
yeah, as you
artifacts.
see, you can't really find much of value. There are a couple of like paperweights that have like some gold lettering in them that represent like CL for Celestial Library. They're like inlaid gold on these like marble paperweights in various parts of the room.
I turn up my nose and put it back. Not worth the wait.
Not worth the wait. And please roll a resist subtle intellect.
Oh boy.
Checks, each of you.
Oh dear. Right.
Let's
Oh, hey, I have a +1 to that.
Or
Excellent.
intelligence, I guess that's what that is. Intellect, intelligence.
6.
How does one roll a resistance? Can you remind me? I'm sorry.
It's just a D20 plus your bonus on your attribute for intelligence.
Okay, thank you.
Unless you've got a talent that gives you a bonus on resisting mind control.
Let me check. I don't think if this is the first contact or communication I'm having with this, I get advantage. I doubt that counts in this situation.
Yeah, probably not. I'm sorry. What everybody roll?
Yeah.
You got a 9, you said, Amelia?
6.
6. I'm sorry.
That's why I was looking for advantage.
I got a 19. My mind is not on worldly things or
Nope.
on otherworldly things right now. It's
That book is
solidly
just
on worldly.
I got a 3.
All right. Apollo and Amelia, as you're searching around the room, and you do find that as you pop that like secret like chamber behind the library shelf, as I start to fade, suddenly you feel this urge behind you, Apollo. The book is beckoning to you. The book is beckoning to you, Amelia. You feel drawn to it.
I gotta know what it says. I mean, just Cora, darling, any chance you could come pick this lock for us? I don't think I could get through it, and I don't want Mr. Johnson to tear the cover off.
Oh, you don't want that?
It's like Apollo's like, give me the damn thing.
I was about to just break that.
Can I roll? And Mia, if you want me to just because I would go with it ordinarily. I don't know if there's an equivalent of like a passive perception in this game, just to notice that something's a bit amiss. Because if Amelia tells me to
Super cursed looking item, yeah.
yeah, maybe that is
Alertness again. If you're like
Yeah,
specifically
alertness.
trying to like spot danger, it says spot danger.
I'll roll. Yeah. That would be a 12.
12. As you quickly examine the pedestal of the book, you don't see that there are any traps of any sort. And the book to you just looks like a dusty old tome lying there. No.
Right. Amelia, are you sure this isn't the object we're looking for? I cannot guarantee. I may be able to. It's quite a lock, and I cannot guarantee there's not anything spooky or spectacular that's going to happen if I undo this. What do you think?
Well, and we did just find the opening we were looking for, in fact, but this book is just so. And I do point at the fact that we did actually just find the door that we want, but I'm still looking at the book.
You did? Oh, that's wonderful. And I'm going to walk right past you towards the door. Like, oh, let me see.
I break the lock.
Crack. Okay, as you pull that lock off, please roll me a resistance, a con resistance, Apollo.
Okay. That's a crit.
Oh, you dialed a 20 up on that,
A
huh?
20. I have a +1 in con anyway, and I do also have the sturdy talent, which I don't know if it applies whether I'm in melee or not.
What a time to crit.
Yeah.
But you rolled a 20 on the dice, right? So it's not a dirty 20. As you pull that lock off, I imagine you've placed your hand on the book to try and protect it, since it has kind of like drawn your awe. And you rip that lock off. In your hand, you feel this like sharp electrical pain, like a shock that shoots up your forearm. And you just grip the lock tighter, and then you're able to like drop it, and then you take no damage.
Neat trick. They've tried that on me before.
We'll have to hear the story of your previous endeavors with these people and why they have posters about you. It sounds like quite a story.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the circus. There's posters of me because I'm a circus performer, and circus performers do all sorts of tricks to people, to each other, for fun.
I see.
This is just an electrocuted lock. I've grabbed one of those before.
Well, what's in the book?
Writing.
Friends, and I'm like, maybe we should, perhaps, Amelia, I know you love books, but maybe.
Yeah, I'll just take it with
I'm
us.
just talking in the back.
Excellent. We'll take it with us.
As you go to lift the book, it will not come off the pedestal.
Oh, yes, it will.
I gotta say, no matter how hard you try, that book is not moving.
And Cora's just got her arms crossed by the door.
I pull out the MK grenade that I know.
No, I lift the pedestal.
It is. Yeah,
Look.
it is solid
Oh.
marble, and you could maybe.
When he
scoot
tries
it
to
across
lift the
floor.
pedestal, can I
Yeah.
make another save against the intelligence to
Yeah,
realize
like how
we've
long
done
do I have
that?
to keep trying to get this book? That's my question. I rolled a 3 on that intelligence save.
I would say that you're more inclined to want to like read the book at this point, since you can't move it or
Okay.
take it with you. Yeah.
Excellent. Let's read the book.
What does it say?
All right. As you start to flip the book open, Cora, you have gone to investigate behind the
Uh-huh.
door that Apollo
Yes.
found. As you open that up, there are on the wall various like ritual tools of torture.
Oh.
They are set with precious stones. Some look to be made of silver and gold, and set with precious stones. There's about 8 different things in there.
Well, count me as horrified and excited at the same time. Is there any conveniently placed robes with big hoods that might cover one's face?
Not inside that small chamber. Yeah, it's just like a flat panel behind the thing.
Okay. I will. I'll see if have they got anything small and portable, like say a pick or a knife, as opposed to like large.
Yeah,
sickles?
there's like a ritual knife with like that kind of like serpent's tongue blade.
Ah.
That Chris knife, I guess they
Classy.
call that. Have the squiggly blade. Plus like what looks like a pair of rudimentary old pliers. You know, imagine people plucking people's teeth out with it, and like a hammer for smashing fingers and toes. That
I
kind of
say,
thing.
well. Oh, may I ask, are they blood-stained or are they well-maintained?
They are clean. They are spotless.
I
Yeah.
understand. It's like, well, if I must save their next victim, and I start grabbing the little items that I can slide under my skirt, because I'm sure I am extremely well-versed in how to sneak small items, and I have come prepared with, hidden
You are
pockets and things like
Packing those into your pockets.
that. Yep.
But
Yep, I'm
as-
glad I can rely on my friends to take care of that book while I take care of this. And
Meanwhile,
I'm like,
Apollo and I'm sorry, I keep cutting you
Yeah,
off.
we get sucked into the book.
Meanwhile, as Apollo and Amelia, as you open the book, the pages emit the faint fragrance of old parchment. Meticulously handwritten text spirals across the delicate vellum. The early pages are in an unknown language. As you explore the hidden depths of the tome, a silence envelops you as the soft rustle of the page stirs the dust in the air. Deeper within are intricate illustrations depicting constellations, strange mystical symbols, and twisted dark beings. Towards the back of the book, there are pages in Latin, French, and English. And as you're turning the pages, you feel that in the French section, there are 2 pages that appear to be glued together, and there is something stuck between the 2 pages.
I have a knife. We could probably pry the 2 pages apart.
How securely glued? Could I get a finger between them?
What does the French on the page say? Do I read any words that I recognize as far as like le mort or anything that says death or...
The 2 pages that are glued together, the words are stylistically linked together with arcane symbols and an abstract serpentine form. The words are in Latin. Sigillum Hermitis. I would assume you'll know Latin. So, Sigillum Hermitis, the seal of Hermes. Aeterni Costos, eternal guardian. Serpentis Custodia, guardian of the serpent. I'm sorry. Hermitis verbum, Hermes word, and the final word, Serpes Vitas, the serpent bond.
And I sort of am explaining all of this to Apollo as I read through it. And I mean, Hermes, he was a messenger of the gods. The serpent staff was definitely a symbol of his, and it's about protection. And
I do read Latin.
Oh, well, goodness, you are just a fount of knowledge. We should talk more, Mr. Johnson, you and I.
Yes. I don't know all those things you were saying about the ancient gods and so forth, but I can make out the words.
Well, I hand you my knife. Would you like to do the honors?
The knife is for what?
Prying the pages apart.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I had asked about getting a finger in there. Is that possible?
Yeah, you could do that, kind of like,
yeah,
but it would damage the paper. But yeah,
I feel like the knife could do it with less damage?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, we'll give that a shot.
As you gently peel the paper aside, tucked inside these 2 pages is a letter folded in place.
Dear Bubba, don't forget the biscuit flour.
Right. As you pull the letter out and begin reading it, this letter itself is written in French. So, Amelia, you can read French?
Oui, je parle un peu français.
No, that one's all you.
I imagine Amelia would probably speak some classical French, at least some conversationally.
As I do this whole info drop for here, as you unfold it and read the letter, it says, "My dearest Henry, it is with mixed emotions that I pen these words to you, for I have made a discovery that compels me to leave your side, at least for a time. During my recent endeavors, I stumbled upon a hidden document that holds the key to the last ingredient required for the elixir of ages. You know better than anyone the importance of this elixir and its potential to bestow eternal life. I understand the gravity of my actions, but the allure of this final ingredient is too powerful for me to resist. Please know that my heart aches at the thought of leaving your side. I carry your wisdom, strength, and love with me on this journey. It is my hope that upon my return, we will share the elixir of ages, together and secure a future free from the shackles of mortality. Until we meet again, my dearest Henry, yours eternally, Lorelei."
Oh dear. So I believe that's Henry Mitchell, who's a member of the Emerald Ravens, which are sort of the strong-armed thugs for the group that we're fighting against. And Lorelei Montague, she's a very highly placed member of the Azure Serpents, as far as I understand from the book that
sorry,
I
did you
read
say
that I
my
wasn't
name?
supposed to read. This is why they wanted to kill me, specifically because I saw this list of names. Oh goodness.
What?
This is a very important letter.
What did you say, Cora?
Oh, I said, did I hear my name? Montesquieu? I'd rather you didn't say that.
Montague.
Montague. Are you still looking at this book? I don't mean.
We
to
found a
I don't mean
letter.
to be
There's an elixir of life and some
Yes.
nefarious sounding ingredients being called for. We've stumbled upon something that the Ivory Keys are going to want to know more about this.
The doors to the library open.
I tuck the letter into my blouse.
Yep. I dart for that door. I'm like, and I expect you guys to follow the door that is the hidden closet.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, okay, we can go in there.
Actually, I did make a circuit of this room earlier. We all did. Is there another exit out of here, other than those double doors, or are those the only two doors to the hall and to the hidden closet?
Let me back up then. Did you go up the stairs to search that aware? I didn't ask earlier.
Oh, you know what? Maybe I missed. So the Cora just saw like jewels and silvers. It's like, ooh. When she got into that open door, into the door, did you say there was a staircase going up?
That is just the panel with the torture devices, the tools. At the back of the library is a spiral staircase that leads to a walkway above the library.
Got it. When I grabbed some, but probably not all of the torture tools, did I see anything that indicated a secret door, secret passage at that point?
No, ma'am. No? Just a storage compartment.
Okay, I think when the doors begin to creak open, I think Apollo just dives down behind a bookcase and hides.
Yeah.
I tuck the letter in my blouse and stand at the book reading it blatantly.
I don't notice until it's too late. I assume that you scatter and hide. I'm going for the closet.
There's just enough room for you to get in there. Yeah.
So
the door won't close all the way, but you can be hidden inside there.
Cora and Apollo are hidden, and Amelia is just standing out in the open.
I flip a couple pages past so that it's not obvious that we've torn some pages apart. I'm somewhere else in the book and reading it, pretending I can't hear it.
Turn around.
As the door opens, 3 large men with a woman partially concealed behind them enter. A familiar voice shouts out, "Oh, Amelia, I had hoped to avoid the necessity of killing you, but since you found your way in here and may have discovered my secret, boys, get them." And the 3 rush into the room.
I was gonna say, just in case we didn't say it earlier, when we dragged those 2 guards in, I would have put them behind the door so that the door blocks them when someone enters. But it doesn't matter; they're fighting us anyway.
They had to push heavy to get the door open. Yeah, they were able to push the
That's what gave us time to get into hiding.
To get into hiding. Yeah.
No, I actually meant I put them where the door would conceal them, not that they would be blocking.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
So I think
roll initiative.
Yeah, but no, initiative is in order of the dex score, I think.
Okay, well, we've got an 11 over here, so.
All right.
I got a big 8 over here.
I'm sorry, we're rolling for initiative. That is 13.
Are we rolling?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Sarah. It's just in the order of your dexterity score. So Apollo's got a 13, Cora's got a 12. So Apollo, Cora, bad guys.
And I've also got
Amelia standing at the book with her back to them. That's fitting.
I'm gonna charge right at the closest bad guy. Well, I'll come out from my hiding space in a run, and as I'm running, I want to look and see if they're armed, and if so, what with.
You catch the glint of a knife. They don't have guns.
Do they both have knives, or just one have a knife?
All 3 of them have knives.
Oh, there's 3. Okay. Then I'll just go for the closest 2, tackle one in each arm, and slam them into the wall.
Okay. Give me an attack roll. That's your strength bonus plus
My attack
Attack.
bonus is +2.
yes, your attack bonus plus your strength bonus plus your d20
Great. And
versus their defense. And their defense is a 12, just to give you a heads up what we're targeting here.
this is maybe a long shot, but given the manner of the attack I described, can I apply my background bonus to it too?
Yeah, go right ahead, please. We're pulp heroes. We get some bonuses on this.
That's a dirty 20.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right. Okay.
Let me get the action music on.
So as they come in, like two of them, like they're basically making a beeline straight at Amelia, and they don't see you coming, Apollo. As you like jump up and dash at them, they're like, "Oh crap!" So you're able to bowl two over with your attack.
All right. Am I able to get them some damage into the wall there?
Yeah, like a bludgeoning damage of cat quit stabbing me in the back.
Well, that's not a lot.
So I'm like, ow! I think he just did more damage than you might to these guys. A blunt attack like that. Give me a D4. What's a club do? I guess.
The club did a D4 earlier.
Okay, so D4 plus 1.
D4 plus 1 is 2. Do I roll for both of them or each?
Roll for each. See if you can get a better on that.
2 and 3.
2 and 3. Okay. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's two, at least momentarily dazed.
Okay, and that would be Cora is next.
All right. Well, they just threatened Amelia with death, so we're playing for life and death stakes. Cora will, from her hiding place, pull out that gun and fire off a shot at the third guy. So that's gonna be.
Yeah.
Let me see.
He's looming large in front of Amelia. He's got his knife out, threatening to plunge it. He's got like the
Her?
yeah. I actually have a knife here. I'm not gonna pick it up. He's doing one of these numbers, like he's gonna do a the serial killer stab down.
It's a crit fail. I rolled a 1. I don't know if they have crit fails.
It is, yeah, there is, but nothing too dramatic will happen. You go to shoot and like your gun jams for a moment, so you got to like get it in order. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've given away my hiding place.
Yep. And this guy's
right.
bringing that knife down on you, Amelia.
Luckily, I have a bulletproof jacket, so my defense is a 13. Here's hoping he misses.
God, I wish I still.
Are you going to do anything?
It's not my turn yet. I have a very low score.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I misunderstood what Mia meant. Yeah.
As he brings the knife down, he misses. So either you like dodge to the side or it skates off your jacket. So yeah.
He's distracted by the giant man that just tackled to him.
Right? Came screaming from nowhere.
In
a lion's mask.
Yeah. In fact, let's just say I roared when I did it.
He whiffs with a knife attack. Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right.
I then, in a spinning motion, grab the machete that I concealed in the back of my costume and try and bring it down in a slash across to.
Oh, that is so vicious.
I love Amelia.
And so I have no strength, I have no attack, so this is plus nothing, just a straight roll. Here, let's see if I hit him. It's a 14. Is that enough?
That is enough to hit. Yeah.
Ooh, D8 of damage. Here we go.
The machetes, that's pretty hefty.
8!
Holy crap. How How do you kill this guy with one blow?
I behead him with one blow as I bring it down from the just off the shoulder
my
down
gosh.
across him from where he had tried to stab at me. I slipped aside. I have now killed two. Amelia is really effective
Lord,
at killing. Just
as he
surprisingly for a
brings the knife
librarian.
down, he overextends, just misses you. You sidestep, so his neck is wide open, and in a fit of fear and adrenaline, you're like, "Holy shit!" and flap, and you lop his head right off.
That's
It tumbles
remarkably
across
sharper
the
than I
floor.
thought it was.
His arterial blood sprays out, creating a nice cone of red on the fine white marble. It's
I look up and I say, "Well, Lorelei, are you sure you want to have this fight, or shall we talk this out?"
Lorelei looks at you. As you say that to her, she kind of monologues a little bit. It's like, well, at least I know how far you're willing to go. She reaches under her collar and she lifts it out, and she's got this. And Apollo, you recognize that she's wearing the Solomon Scarab, and she turns to run.
Oh, is it my turn now?
And it is now your turn.
Okay. So these two guys that I knocked down had knives, but I don't want to roll to contest them to get the knives. So,
I'm sorry, they're supposed to counterattack. I apologize.
Okay.
I don't want to skip them. My bad. Real quick. One of them hits you with the knife, and the other misses.
Okay, what's the damage?
Apollo. The knife is just a simple D4, 1 point of damage. So he gives you a mild slice on the arm or something.
Okay. All right, so I will ignore his dumbass, grab a book, the heaviest one that I can quickly see and pick up, and hurl it at the fleeing woman.
Books are heavy, dangerous things.
Okay.
Here we go. That's going to be another dirty 20.
Oh, good Lord.
18 on the die plus 2 attack.
You fling the book at her. What are we going to call a fling for a book attack?
I will trade all damage if she just falls over.
Yeah.
Okay. You basically clock her in the back of the head, and she tumbles on the floor.
Okay. Because my next move is to run to her and snatch the necklace.
Okay. You will
that's my turn, I guess.
begin your move. Yeah, you're moving towards her. She's just out of your
out of my
reach.
Movement range. Okay.
Yeah.
Next turn then.
All right. So that's
Cora.
neat.
Let's go.
Is she out of my move range?
Because you moved deeper into the library to hide
did.
inside that cabinet. So yeah.
Yeah, so I'm further away than Apollo. That's fine. I will
shoot one of those guys.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look. Who the two guys that Apollo knocked down, are they unconscious or just sort of groaning, picking themselves up?
No, one of them stabbed me.
Yeah, one of them counterattacked, and the other missed. So, and then Apollo just kind of muscled past him to throw that book at.
Got it. Okay, so they're up on their feet. All right.
Yeah.
I will. Yeah, I'll go ahead and fire on the one that stabbed Apollo. So that's going to be. That's canted. Let me roll again. Yeah, I'm rolling terribly. It's a 6. Cora isn't really a fighter.
Yeah, that gunshot fires wide. Yeah.
Yeah, but I am going to, if I may, take an extra action here, or an extra something here. I'm going to scream, that was a warning shot! Stop, or I'll fire for real!
Give me I would say an intimidation, but give me what is that? Comms check, communications? Manipulation? Comms. It'll be communication. Yeah.
And I get advantage when I'm trying to trick or confuse.
Yeah.
So, that's a 14. That's also a 14, weirdly enough. But yeah, so that's going to that's I'll take the 14. Plus 1 is 15.
Both of them look like earlier. The two guards, they look at each other. They look over their shoulder at their
Dead
boss.
friend. Oh, okay.
Lacey, who is knocked over in the hallway, and they turn to run. And they're like right behind you, Apollo. It just as Lacey leaps to her feet and dashes down the hallway.
Oh, we can do this book throwing thing all day.
So they don't. So they're fleeing the battle. They're not engaging. They're not running at Apollo, right? They're trying to get out of here.
Yeah, they're running to basically stop Apollo. As they run forward,
Oh, okay.
they both like push Apollo to try and prevent him from going after Lacey.
Okay, so they didn't care about my role at all. All right.
What is your defense up there, Apollo?
Well, it's 11 since I'm not wearing my vest.
One of them gives you a good hard shove against the wall. Another 1 point of damage. Okay. Good gracious.
All right, we're going to have to Mr. T this shit.
Amelia, yeah.
Okay, well, they foolishly turned their backs on me and walked towards Apollo, so I just take my machete, walk up behind one, and do the next guy.
Oh my gosh.
They walked in and announced they were going to kill me. I have very
all right, give them an attack. Roll your attack. Gosh.
I did not.
I've never played such a bloodthirsty character. Oh, good. 5. I've totally missed.
Okay, yeah, this time you miss. Okay.
I just can't quite bring myself to do it cold.
No, they're in motion. It's hard to, yeah.
Can't quite just do. That guy was an accident, but yeah.
So we're back to Apollo.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab a guy and throw him at another guy.
Okay.
How do
So
I do
just
that?
give me, just do your straight attack to grab the guy.
18.
All right, you got a really firm grip on this guy with that attack. So I'll give you advantage on the hard shove into the other guy. So second attack.
Mr. T, lift, throw.
Okay, so you've like point him up and lift. Yeah, so yeah, give me a please excuse me. Give me a ranged attack.
That's what my ranged and my melee is the same, but it's 19.
All right, so you toss this guy and he lands square on this other guy. Roll me 2d6. One for each of them, basically.
A 6 and a 1.
6 and 1.
Yeah.
One of them, when he the big guy you throw, he's still alive, but he falls down and his buddy gets hit against the wall and his neck cracks as it bends funny against the wall. So you've killed one, and the other is just barely alive.
And now I've killed someone. Thanks a lot. And I'm running after that lady.
Yeah.
Okay. As you turn to chase her, you see her round the corner and disappear. Apollo, Cora.
I was actually going to say I'd like to put my whole turn into chasing after Lorelei.
Okay.
I've failed 2 shots. I've watched my friends just slaughter 2. I'm like, I get the necklace, and I'm going to put everything I have into chasing her.
All right. So as Apollo hoists this guy up and tosses him, you round the corner into the hallway just as he tosses that guy, and you get halfway down the hallway to where Lacey has rounded the corner. So yeah, you're good. Yep. You've got a good chase going on her. She's not too far ahead of you.
All right.
The one remaining guy is lying there on the floor. He tries to do a quick leg sweep at you, Apollo, to try and take you down. And rolls a 3 on the dice, so that is a miss.
All right. Is that Amelia's turn now?
Yes, I'm gonna see
Yes.
that you probably have the one last guy and take off after Cora down the hall.
Okay.
And so you were basically about 10, 12 feet behind Cora at this point. Yeah. Amelia.
Okay. And Cora
Yeah.
passed me, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Then I will do the same and put my whole turn into chasing. Now that there's just one guy and he sucks.
So as you chase after Cora and Amelia, you're like neck and neck with Amelia, basically, as you guys hurl down the hallway and round the bend, because Cora and you are right there together.
Can I get some shit out of a bag that Cora's been carrying?
As
Like
you're running
some
along,
of my
please
gear,
excuse
maybe.
me. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know it's 2:00 my time and it's midnight, y'all. Just a little bit longer.
Okay.
She said you're neck and neck with me. We could have built a lot of your weapons into my outfit, and I can be
Yeah.
handing you shit as we
Great.
run.
I got a
Yeah.
machete. I got a crowbar. I got a vest, a bulletproof vest.
See, yeah, we put your machete opposite my machete so that they match
Wow.
in the design.
Right.
Yeah. So
Right.
now I'm a naked man with a lion mask and a machete running through. This is catching up. Edward just got in the chat.
The crowd
okay.
parts.
Chasing a woman
the-
through a mansion.
Yeah, the crowd parts, and in the interest of time,
All right.
we'll skip to as you exit the building. You see Lacey Monroe dive into the seat of a waiting Mercedes-Benz 540K, and as she starts to pull away, there's a valet car sitting there, a Bugatti Type 57C. And the couple approaching it, the man bursts into a bright yellowish flame, and the crowd screams and hollers, and there's an idling sports car sitting there waiting for your taking it, if you wish.
I drop the machete. I grab the nearest cloak, and I try to smother the flames. And I yell, "Do not get water!"
Sorry, quick point of order. You said Lacey
Yeah.
Monroe got into the car? What happened to
Lorelai is Lacey.
Lorelai is
She
Lacey.
is.
Okay. Okay.
Elixir of life. She was the
Got
Yeah,
it.
there was
Okay.
another
assuming.
clue in that room that, there's a painting of Lorelai standing with Lady Eddington and her husband and Henry LaCroix from like 1883.
Mm.
And she hasn't aged a day since 1886. So, yeah.
Oh, that
and-
letter was from 1886.
She left dear Walter to go find her elixir of life.
Yeah. And and she tears out of there in that Mercedes Benz, and there's a Bugatti waiting there.
You guys
I
are
leave
gonna
her to
have
the
to deal
passenger
without
seat.
me.
Wait,
What's
is
that?
Lady? Wait, I'm sorry. You said Lady Eddington. Is that Lady Kensington?
Kensington, I'm sorry. I had named her Eddington at one point, and I switched
So
it
Lady
to
Kensington has also taken the elixir of mortality.
No.
Immortality?
Lady Kensington is a very old woman now. When she was a very young woman, she was part of the
Okay,
organization
got
that then she left and formed our organization
Yeah,
to fight them.
sorry. Yeah.
Sorry, got it. Okay, I'm caught up on the
Okay.
lore. Thank you.
So you guys are gonna
I
have to
jump
take-
into the passenger seat of the car and wait for someone to drive me after her.
It's gonna be you,
I
Cora.
am-
I have to put out this
I'm in-
man on fire.
I jump in too, pedal to the metal. It's like usually Lottie drives the car, but I'll do my best. And here we
Where
go.
is Lottie? Lottie! We told you to wait
She's
in
in
the
our
car.
car.
Where is the car?
Too far away. It was a valet.
Yeah, your car is parked somewhere by the valet. You just stole somebody else's car.
Okay.
All
I
right.
am
Yeah,
trying
and again-
I'm trying to put out the flames both by smothering them and also seeing if I can wipe this chemical off of this man.
As you do that, you're getting left behind by the car, Apollo, unless you want to somehow jump on the car after smothering this guy.
At this moment, this is payoff for something that happened in the Discord play at level 0.
Okay.
At this moment, I cannot think about chasing down a criminal and letting a man die again.
All right,
I
so-
have to save the man.
You snuff him out. Cora and Amelia are tearing down the streets.
Off we go.
Again, skip ahead.
Boom, boom.
Flickering lights, signs cascading. There's a slight downpour. Tires of the speeding car screech against the slick rain-flecked asphalt. Echoing gunfire. She's as you fire towards her, dodging and weaving through the bustling city, maneuvering around frantic pedestrians. There's a whole chase mechanic to get you, but it is late. The car chase brings you to a dramatic halt at the base of the towering Empire State Building. The skyscraper's gleaming spire pierces through the stormy heavens like a sentinel guarding the city. Lorelei Lacey runs into the building ahead of you and boards an elevator.
She's heading for the Zeppelin.
The door closes behind her with a taunting chime. Again, still chasing, I assume.
Yes, quickly to
breathing
the other
heavy
elevator.
Breathing heavy and hearts pounding, you sprint towards the elevator bank, desperately pushing the call button. A few moments later, a door slides open.
Dive in.
To the roof. And I'm desperately searching for the torches that I have in my bag because we're going to a dirigible.
And it's a two-stage, like it's two stages. You go up to the top, you have to get off, and then you board the elevator or go up the spiral staircases for the morning post. Emerging on the roof, a spotlight pierces the dark clouds, revealing the form of a colossal zeppelin ascending into the sky. Suspended from the behemoth's belly, a rope ladder dangles with Lorelei Lacey clinging tightly to it as she soars away into the night. With a devilish grin and an air of triumphant defiance, she shouts back at you, her voice echoing in the storm of the night. Until next time, my dear, the skies are mine. She quickly vanishes into the darkened sky. In the quiet of the fading roar of the Zeppelin's engines, you take a moment to look around the area and discover a small box. Inside is the Solomon Scarab with a short note. I got what I needed from it. No other shall know its secrets. And there is a vast, large explosion. Boom. Cliffhanger.
Skyscraper hanger.
Do you?
I'm sorry, it just like totally accelerated all the way through that.
All good.
Do you mean to tell me that I just chose between saving this stranger or dying with my friends?
We're not necessarily dead.
You're not necessarily my friends.
It's a Pulp story, you know. You got to
dead.
end on the
We're
cliffhanger, but next week, tune in to see if they survive.
We're hanging by
Before
our
we take
fingernails
the
off the
box,
edge of
I want to do a dramatic looking after the Zeppelin and go, I'll see you next time, darling.
That's
I apologize.
No, you don't have to
Cooking over
apologize.
there.
This was awesome. Plus, we wasted half
do
of
it.
the first segment with chasing down that mob boss that didn't matter.
Which is okay because that actually
That's
builds
fun,
more lore that I can fill out for, you know.
Yeah, okay, so speaking of future games, next week, Beyond the Obsidian Veil by our own Maxwell Durbin Tan. So everybody come check that out. The following 2 weeks, we are playing, I think, Tales from the Backlog. Tales from the Loop. Tales from Backlog is this show. Tales from the Loop. We're doing parts 2 and 3 of a trilogy there. And then let's come back to this. What do you guys think?
I'm up for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I'll practice not going southern quite so much.
Success. Thank you.
I
We're
will
all like it.
Practice my New York use and D's and Do's.
So anxious. I'm like, God, I'm going to suck.
It's a great game. It's very fun.
Mia, this was awesome. This is one of the best games you've ever run for us. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Fabulous characters, you guys. That was some strong choices. I love it.
You guys,
amazing.
Here's the quick backstory on the guy on fire. In our solo play in the run up to this, Apollo Johnson was present when someone burst into flames, and I wrapped him in a blanket and threw him in a horse trough, and then he exploded.
Because it was the wrong kind of chemical, yeah.
Yeah, later I found out he'd been doused in a chemical that burns when it's exposed to water. And so Apollo has entered this story knowing that he killed a man through his ignorance, and then the exact same thing just happened at the end. Mia, that was beautiful, because there was no way I was getting in that car.
Yeah,
I was like, I'll give you the option, you know.
It was
Yeah.
never gonna
that
happen.
was perfect.
And now Apollo's gonna be like, oh, I let my friends die in an explosion. I didn't even go in the car with them. What was I thinking?
Yeah,
Now you have to come over and save us.
Yeah.
you see this bright light flash up near the Empire State Building and go, oh shit, what was that?
That's great. All right. Good night, guys. Thanks for hanging in there
Great
so
game,
late,
everybody.
especially
Oh my
you
gosh.
Amazing.
guys.
Thank you again.
Mia.
Yes, thank you. That was so
Well
fun.
done.
Yes.
All right.
Super
I'm
fun.
running out of
Thank
disk
you.
space, so I got to end this immediately.
All
I'll
right,
see you
good
guys
Yeah.
night.
later.
Bye, guys.
Good night.